Hello, how's everyone doing? Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Can hear you now. Hello.
Okay, great.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening. Nice to see you all. Elton, haven't met you in person. Well, I call Zoom in person, but welcome. Nice to meet you. You too, Xochitl. Can you tell me how to pronounce your name correctly? Is it Xochitl or? Hello? I don't know if you can hear me yet. Xochitl? Nope, your sound is off. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna check in with everyone and their sound to make sure everyone can hear me. I see a few connecting to audio still. So can everyone unmute themselves for a second and say that you're here, like one at a time? Maybe Cecile, can I try and hear you?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Jeremy?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay, who said I'm here?
I'm here. Okay, who said I'm here with?
Vera?
Vera.
Vera. Vera.
Someone sounding kind of broken up. Try that again.
It's Vera.
Vera, I got you. Someone
Okay.
else is speaking. If I didn't say I heard Cecile, Jeremy, and Vera. If I didn't hear you,
I'm here.
Belém is here. Perfect. Marcy, can you say?
I'm here.
Cool. Alton, can you say
Yes,
something?
I said hi earlier, but I was on mute. But hi.
There's all okay. And then Xochitl,
I'm here.
how do you pronounce your name?
Xochitl.
Oh, actually, I think I got it right.
Yes, you got it, yes.
All right, cool. So here we go. Nice to see everyone. Hopefully a few more people will pop in. Usually we've been having a bunch more, and I tried to make it pretty clear on my last few emails and responses that if you can make it to class, this is class time. And as I said, for some of you who've been sitting through the first few are the longest ones, where I have so much to explain all of the course codes and all that stuff that's been happening. After that, it'll be more like giving you a heads up on what's happening in the week, explaining the tasks for the week, and then letting you do your work, and we'll support you. So you don't have to be here until 9:35 in the future. But these few, let me keep admitting people. I usually hear a ding when people are waiting, but I didn't hear it today. But these beginning setups where we've had, let me keep admitting people, where we've had so many issues with the codes, a lot of the time has been spent trying to figure that situation out. But oh well, you know, given how many great and horrible things happen in the world, putting it into perspective, this isn't so terrible. So welcome everyone who just joined us. I want to check to make sure I can hear you. So hi, Mario. Can you say hi?
Sorry, I was muted.
No, that's good. Can you speak a bit louder? Just that if you do want to speak to me, I'm just testing sound right now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, very quietly, but I can hear you. Hey, Katie. Nice to see you. By the way, everyone who hasn't been in our class yet, Katie, the one with the headset, she's our awesome tutor.
I'm Katie. Nice to meet you all. Tutor.
So there's about 4 people here today who haven't been here. So welcome to Xochitl, Alton. And actually, no, Mario, you've been with us already last class, didn't you? No, you weren't with us last class? Okay, well then, hi Mario, you too. Nice to meet you. I'm Diana. I'm your illustrious professor. And I hope, oh, more people trying to come in. I'm not hearing the regular doorbell kind of thing that I hear when people are in the waiting room. Oh, the sound on this computer is down. There I go. Okay, so so guys, the first thing I need you to do, remember, is to go into the chat and write just say hello, hi, I'm here, just something to let me have a register of your attendance. So just click on that. No need to have a big introduction, just a little hello is good enough. And the next thing I need you guys to do is to open up your participants button. So click on the button. Right now it says 14, and that should pop up a list of all of the people who are here. And it's at the bottom of that list where you see the little yeses and nos and little raised hands. Those are the ones that we'll be using when I'm sharing my screen. That's a good way for me to communicate with you and for you to say yes or no, or you got it, or whatever it is that we need to say to each other. So keep that one on. But if it's taking up too much of your screen when I start sharing, then that's a button that you can just turn on and off. So if you click on it once, it disappears. You click on it again, it appears. So it's kind of an on and off situation for the participants list, okay? So now to make sure everyone saw that, give me a good old yay if you know and you found it. So give me a little green, a little big old yay is a green check mark. I know it's not as exciting as saying yay, but you know, green check mark means yay. And I wanna make sure that everyone does give me a green check mark. That way I know that you all know where to find it. Now there's a couple of you who are on your second devices, and that's fine. You don't need to check on both your devices, but if you have only one device, I expect you to give a little check mark, okay? And if I don't see it, this time I'll ask you because I wanna make sure you have it turned on. But otherwise, I'm not gonna be asking you each time. I need you to just answer. So like, for example, Marcy, you just gave me a thumbs up on the screen, but that's not the same as what's at the bottom of the participants button. So click on the bottom of your screen. There's a menu bar that has the participants that if you click on it, you'll see the listing of everyone's names. You see it now? I can see you kind of yell. Okay, and then that's the little yes or raised hands or no or whatnot. Perfect, that's the one. Jeremy, have you been able to find it? About, that's it. Everyone else is their second device. But Jeremy, do you need a hand finding that? Give me a second here. Oh, there's my other devices coming in. All right. So Jeremy, I can't hear you. If you're trying to talk to me, I only see your mouth moving. So can you unmute yourself?
Unmute yourself.
Sorry, I couldn't see anything. I adjusted my screen size and it went Zoom.
Ooh, your sound is it just from me that it's breaking up?
Your sound is it just from me that it's breaking up?
Is it still breaking up?
Is it me breaking up?
Is it me breaking up?
I can hear you. Am I still breaking up?
Okay, so everyone give me
everyone give me
this, okay, someone has two devices and both
someone has two devices
on. So anyone who has two devices, you need to choose one and you need to turn the sound off on that device. So to turn the sound off, oh, there you go, I stopped hearing it. So someone did the right thing. Okay, sound is good again. Jeremy, can you speak again? Let me make sure that I can hear you well now.
Yes, I adjusted the screen size and then I couldn't see anything.
Okay, great.
But now I'm back. I can see now.
I know, I'm still hearing that double. You guys are not hearing that double weird? Yeah, okay. So anyone, it's typically this, I mean, I'm hearing it only with Jeremy, but you don't have a second device on, do you, Jeremy? So plan B, usually it's someone.
So plan B usually is someone.
Okay, everyone, if you have a second device, go down to your mute button, and your mute button, you know, the little microphone, has a little arrow right next to it. If you click on that little arrow, you should see an option on one of your devices to leave computer audio. So this is only for those of you who are signed in twice. If you are signed in once, I don't want you to leave computer audio. But if you're signed in a second time, and let me look at here who, there's a Chocolate Lady is a second device, and Cecile too is a second device. So make sure to disconnect the audio from those two devices. or from the one you're using. It doesn't matter, but just have the sound on only one of them. Everyone else seems to have. Who joined us with the Samsung? Someone just joined us with the Samsung. Okay,
That's
Veronica.
me,
the
Veronica.
second. Perfect. Hi, Veronica. So then go ahead and make sure that the sound is off on one or the other. All right. I think I'm good now. And if not, because now I'm not hearing it, if it's when Jeremy, if it's when you speak, then it's something with the sound that you have. So we'll just keep an eye on that next time you speak. All right. So
You want me to, are you hearing it?
So,
Are you hearing
Yeah.
it now still?
it is with you. It is when you speak. I don't know what's wrong because you're not doing anything wrong. You just have one device. So, oh well, whenever you speak, we'll just know that it'll sound kind of strange, but I do manage to understand you. So
but I do manage to understand you, so.
How's
hear
that better?
myself say the whole thing again twice.
Did that work? Is that better?
No.
No.
Yeah, there's not much I can do about that. I know last time you did sign in with 2 devices. Maybe you can sign up with another device and use that sound instead of the sound of this one. You can try that. All right. And anyone who does have a second device, like the Cecile 2 or Chocolate Lady, you are welcome to turn the video off of that one, Vera and Cecile, of the second one. So there's a blank, and that way I only focus on the ones where I see you. Hi, Guadalupe. Nice to see you, or see your name. Okay, I have some more people coming in. And there we go. All right. So make sure if you've joined us in the last few minutes to go to the chat and type in your attendance. Now, everyone seems to have their name pretty well written. I can figure out, Sarah, yours is an email, but I'm pretty sure that you are the only Sarah, so I can figure you out on the roster. If you think from your roster name and what's in the names, I won't figure you out. No, I do. Every name seems pretty legible, so that's fine. Otherwise, I needed you to to rename yourself, but you're all fine. Okay. So, how many of you are ready to embark on our first exam? Ooh. Whoopee. I'm not seeing very excited faces. Yeah, no, only Katie and I are the only happy ones here.
Yeah, I took it already.
What's that? You already took it, Vera?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Vera's been amazing. She's doing all this stuff, and she's just, if you're all at all paying attention to the help ask questions here, she has this list of things because VDI doesn't work exactly the same as the real Windows. And so she's like pinpointing all the stuff where it doesn't work. So today when I show you those things, I'm gonna refer to her as my assistant. Oh, Vera, what did you say? How did you fix this one out? I told her. She's already on extra credit points for that. This is the first time I teach this whole thing through VDI. And I teach all of the Adobe programs, Photoshop, Illustrator. I teach all of those Dreamweaver website on VDI all summer long. But I have not taught how to use Windows on VDI. And Windows itself is what we see on VDI. Doesn't operate exactly the same as the real Windows. And so I'm gonna just put a compendium of everything she's writing on a list and send it to everyone. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter too much because the real reason you have VDI is so that you can access all of the applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. You'll be able to use those without having to download the real software and have your own PC, Windows, computers, and stuff like that. But this part, the part that has to do with Windows, it doesn't matter if VDI functions a little bit differently, because really, if you work inside of the training environment and you follow the steps that the training tells you to do, and then in the exam you test it that way, the day you're confronted with the real Windows, that's the way it really works, the way it works in the training. The workarounds for VDI are almost the same, but not really the same. So if you test it out on VDI, on the Windows VDI to do what we're telling you to do, it's a bit different, okay? But thanks for pointing that out, and hopefully anyone who has a question knows to go to the Ask Questions Here link which I have a link in the front of the page. I have it in the modules. I have it in a lot of my emails. And just click in there because probably someone has asked your question already. And I have two 4-credit online courses, 2 different ones going on, plus 5 other in-person Zoom courses going on. And it's driving me crazy when I get the same question individually from each one of you guys in the email. That's not the place to ask me those questions. And so I just want to repeat, questions that have to do with something that the answer would benefit everyone. So you're not asking about your grade, or you're not, but if you're asking me about steps in an assignment, or how come the SAM code isn't working, or if I click on this, link, it isn't working. Well, the link might not be working in the course. So all of those questions are questions to be put in the help ask questions here. Usually I get many less of these kind of questions in this course because traditionally this is an face-to-face course and everyone asks and answers the questions in person. And so during the week, you don't have those questions. But there's more of that this time because people are forging ahead and trying to do the course as if they were online instead of waiting for the next week for the course, which is today. So during that week, when you have questions, I'll do my best to answer. But this isn't truly an online course, even though I'm giving you all the material online. Rather, this is the class and the time to ask and answer and practice and get all your questions and do everything. That said, as we all know, not everyone can attend these hours. So then if at some point you have to leave early, come late, or not come to one of these classes at all, check the recording, which is available the next day. It takes the same 4 to 8 hours to process the whole course after it's finished recording to then be able to get it up and with a link to you guys. So that's why I'm saying that by the next morning, you'll have it available. Okay, so before we launch into today's course, any questions as to what's been happening this week, things that have been happening with the code, can't even say the word for the code. I'm so averse to all the problems that I'm not able to say the SAM code word anymore. Any issue with things that you ordered that are or aren't here? Anything about that you want to tell me about that I might be able to help you with? Yeah, Elton?
Push the raise hand button. Okay.
That works fine. I can see you.
So the orientation quiz I know is supposed to be done already. However, when I go back to SAM and Cengage, it's still not showing as available to actually bring up. I checked the calendar and the activities list. It shows up on the calendar, but it's not highlighted in a way that you can actually select it to bring it up.
So guys, you know how strict I was with assignments for the orientation, but Elton just joined us last week. And so he got a pass on the deadlines and that's why he's doing it. Don't everyone jump on me. Wait, they were due last week, because they were. And that's why he's having issue with getting it online. And although I set you up again with a new assignment, for some reason it's not coming up. So when we take a break, I'll create a new one again. And if that isn't working, then we need to go through Cengage tech support, because usually all it takes is to create a new assignment, which I did for you. And I think for Shochi, you switched in my Brady Bunch face. You suddenly went over there. For you two who joined us at the end of last week, I set up the assignments and so you had the same problem, right? You went and it wasn't there. When I told you to check again after refreshing, it still didn't show up?
It's still not able to get in. And I called them and they told me again, like, it's not showing that the date has been changed, and that's why I cannot get in.
The date is last week. You told me that by email, so she's been calling, and by her telling me what's happening, I know that it's not working for you either, Elton. But on my side, I have it created for you too. Then due this Saturday. So I need to see what's happening. So it's okay. I'll still give you a pass if it's not done, but don't drop it. Like, I'll set it up again. I'll ask you to check. You tell me again if it doesn't work. So let's keep talking about that, because I need to make sure, because if that's not working, maybe it's the assignment, or maybe it's actually the code and SAM. And this is a test which is tiny. It's not about real knowledge. It's about, is your SAM working? And that's why it matters that you do it. All right. Okay. Okay, so any other questions? I have a few more things to say that I put in that I'll come upon it when I get into the PowerPoint. But other than that, I'm ready to show you my screen, share my screen with you. Anything else you can think of that kind of, you know, course materials stuff that needs to be handled? Everyone else who's tried to do whatever you've tried to do, it's all working smoothly now at this point for everyone? Finally, yes? I hope.
Hi, is the sound better or is it still awful?
No, it's still awful, but oh well, I don't know what's wrong.
Okay. Sorry, so in the chapters, I just found like 2 days ago where the book is, so I've been reading it, but at the end, there's questions. Are we supposed to be doing that and turning that in?
No.
Okay.
Good question. No, the reading and the Windows chapter is only 4 chapters of the book that you need to read, and those are informational only. They're not assignments for you to do. Now, if you wanted to follow through and do them like Vera was doing, that's when you discovered that, oh well, you know, it doesn't work because I'm in VDI. But it's mainly for you to gain knowledge and understanding. But it's not an assignment you need to turn in. And the only ones that I want you to really be good at doing are the ones that are in the trainings, and I'll explain that in a minute. But those are the tasks that you have to be able to replicate inside the trainings. If you try to replicate one of those outside the trainings in the VDI environment, it doesn't work. That's because VDI works a bit differently. So you need to do it the way the book tells you, but inside the trainings. Except for that, when you're inside the trainings, you're not at liberty to do whatever you want. You kind of need to do just those 30 tasks. So it's a little bit limiting today. When I demo VDI, I'll show you some of the workarounds to play around with it, because during the real life rest of the class, when it's not about the 30 exam tasks, when you're in VDI to open up, you know, PowerPoint or Word to do assignments, if you need to know how to then find the File Explorer, well, it's not going to be there where it should be. And so I'll show you how to find the File Explorer so you can find your S drive and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, the readings might tell you to do in a certain way. And if you're on VDI, about 4 or 5 of them won't work the same way. In fact, OneDrive, whenever it refers to OneDrive, we do not have access to OneDrive. I'll tell you more about what OneDrive is and how, why it's not available. And then Notebook app is not available either. And then like where you find things, like where you find the File Explorer and things like that. Okay. So thanks for doing the readings. I will be connecting. Hopefully you will all have the book, but even if you had the book this week, the Windows part of the readings are not in the book. So for this portion of the assignments, you still needed to be reading it from the ebook. We used to have this material in the book that we used up until last session, but somehow the new book that we just adopted with the new SAM code and all the issues does not, it just brings the Office information, but not the Windows information. So for that, we've had to use the ebook, which is a bit of a surprise to us as well, because reading from the ebook, I actually read on the Kindle, I read on screen, but these ebooks are not that easy to read from, and I'm not in love with them, and oh well. But we do what we can with the material we've been given. So having the book early or not wouldn't have made a difference. This part you would still have had to read online. And so when you go to the module and start the week and start going kind of reading and next and reading and next, then when it's natural for it to appear that it's time for you to do the reading, then that's where the link for clicking on the reading appears. You click on the reading, you get taken to the readings in SAM. So then that's in a new window. So you can have Canvas in one tab and SAM in another tab. While you do your reading, you can see Canvas on the other side. Instead of just speaking about this, when I open it up, I'll show you this and then it'll be clearer. But it does seem like most of you found it though. Did anyone not find the readings that we're talking about? Does anyone not know what it is that we're talking about? Which is fine if you didn't get there. We still have, you had a whole week to start reading them and prepare the SAM trainings. And as of today, the exam is open. So if you're done and you studied all week, Vera already went ahead and did the exam. But you still have a week. You have up until next Tuesday to do that exam. So don't rush into the exam, but don't wait till the last moment, right? Go ahead and do your readings, do your trainings, and then click on that exam. You get 2 chances to take it, okay? So if for any reason some weird stuff happens the first time and you're not sure, the window closes, you hit submit some weird stuff, you have 1 more chance to take it. So if anything really weird does happen when you're taking it, don't just open it again. Contact one of us, contact the tutors at the tutoring support time. Oh, for all of you who have been emailing me, don't forget that Katie, right there, say hi again, yay Katie, and Norma and Esther, 3 awesome trained tutors, are available at extended amounts of hours at a Zoom's click moment away to help you with all of the questions that you're asking me. So, you know, Alton or Xochitl, if you didn't hear it, because you haven't been part of it mentions, or Mario, if you didn't hear me say this, when you have a question during the schedule that, and I'll point to you in the Canvas course where that schedule is, you can just click on a Zoom and reach 3 people who are just sitting there waiting for your questions, instead of having to email me, wait until I get around to dealing with the questions from this course and answer you a question that maybe wasn't completely well answered. So all I can say is explain that again. And then you have, well, I need this, and suddenly it's 2 days, versus just click and get help from one of the tutors, right? That's what they're there for. They are tutors just for the course. They're available for you exactly for this reason, okay? And they span Monday through Friday. Friday too, right, Katie? Yeah, they're there Monday through Friday at different schedules. So I'm not your only source. I'm not the only person you have to sit and wait to get an answer from. Okay. It takes a village to push through a whole set of online courses, right? And it's not a reason I teach. There's courses, for example, now, imagine someone in my other course asking me a question. Well, I won't be available until 10 p.m. to answer them, right? And so they're sitting there waiting. And so, well, then there's all these other places you can get your answers from, because I'm doing something else, and I teach many other classes where I'm not always on to answer your questions. Okay, now I don't have the links to those in my PowerPoint this time because I've shown them the last 2 weeks, but I will show you in the Canvas course where to find the online tutoring hours, okay? For those of you who are newish to the course. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen from over here. Put this in here. Let's see if I can, nope, I hate when it does that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my, give me a second, I need to hide one of these guys and hide the chat. I have so much stuff on my second desktop that I didn't clean up. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna share my desktop. There you go. And now I'm going to open up my PowerPoint into there. All right, so are you all seeing the PowerPoint presentation? Okay. For those of you who haven't heard it yet, my name is Diana Musacchio. And I didn't put in Katie, but I've already said your name a few times. There's Katie. We are our 2-point people for this course. Today what we're going to do is make sure that your SAM code trial period isn't near to expire. Some of you should have 7 days, some of you less, depending on when you opened it up. What that means is you need to get going with purchasing that code, and the real code, and putting it in there, okay? We're gonna talk about what the exam is gonna be like. I'm gonna teach you some of the things, some of the discrepancies, some of the things that you need to know, and remind you about how to access the SAM training. And today, if you haven't yet, I'm going to take you through taking the Practice Windows 10 exam. Now, it's a Practice Windows 10 exam only in that if you've been doing the SAM training. How many of you have been doing the SAM training? Give me a little show of hands. Actually, yeah, actually that, why am I not able to clear you all today? I think because this is not, oh, because I didn't join. My second account isn't joined as a teaching account, and that's why I'm not able to clear your answers. Okay, that's all right. All right, so lots of little hands there going up. So that's great. Now, you notice how you can do things again and again and again until you get it right in the training, yeah? So you might launch the exam and think that's how it works, and it doesn't work that way. In the exam, you only get a couple of tries, 3 to be exact, to click on the right place. And if you 3 times click on the wrong place, it's like, whoops, you don't know this one, move on to the next one. And that's a point against you. So the reason for the practice exam isn't for you to practice the actual questions, but for you to practice how it feels to do the same thing in exam mode, where 3 clicks and you're out, go very quick. You know, when you need to click around to find something? I mean, things that I do all the time, sometimes I need to click around to find. Well, for the exam, you only get 3 chances to click around and get it wrong. So that's what this practice exam is for you to get comfy with the system. So you don't need to run it so much to learn from. To learn, you need the training. But before you take the exam, run through the practice exam 1 or 2 times until you really got your system down to not like click willy-nilly. Like go and remind yourself, oh, I gotta be careful where I click, and I gotta know what I don't know. And if I don't think I know it, let me go try it again in the apply until I'm sure that with 3 is all it takes, right? And then finally you can launch the exam. Does that make sense? Yeah? So Vera, you already took the exam. What was the experience like? Did you feel like you got, like it was similar enough to the training?
Yeah.
Don't give away anything, right? But I mean, it was
yeah,
pretty.
I ran into trouble because I had to click. So if you don't know, you gotta.
Yeah, so that's my warning. It's the clicks that will get you. If you do something in 10 clicks right, as far as the exam is concerned, after the 3rd one, you don't know it, okay? So just knowing it, especially people who've used Windows forever, actually tend to do worse in this exam because they just don't bother doing the training because they figure they know it. They know how to minimize a window. So then suddenly it takes you more than 3 clicks and it shows up as no, and you go, wait a minute. So there's one saving grace. Because this first exam is sometimes a bit of a mind bender for some people because of the system, you get a chance, if you don't like the grade you got, to take it again at the end of the course, okay? So this is the one exam that you'll get a second chance on just because of trying to get through the system. Also, it's training you because once we get into Word, exam, PowerPoint, you won't get a second chance for those exams, okay? So this is more of a breaking you into the whole system, all right? Slowly. And the total exam is only worth 50 points instead of 200 points, which is what, once you get to the other exams, 100 points. So, okay, so I want to be clear about how to access the S drive for VDI users. So those of you who are VDI users, it's very important that you do not put your files anywhere other than in the S drive. And I'll explain to you that more when I get there. Why? Because otherwise you'll lose all your work. Now we're not there yet. You're not doing any assignments, but for example, if you created the comp folder and saved it anywhere other than in your S drive, by today it'll be gone. So I need to make sure you report to me if you don't have an S drive. And usually it's the newer people who add it in at the end. I've handled it all. I've been told that most of them S drives are there, but if you haven't informed me that you don't have an S drive yet, then I can't inform Sarah, the IT person who handles it. So you need to tell me to get your S drive set up. Okay, what's up with test books? Who does or doesn't have their test book yet? So clear your answer, because from the way I have it set up right now, because I connected with a different account and I can't clear your answers. Go ahead and clear your answers. And to clear your answer, you need to re-click on that thing that you clicked. So if you had your raised hand, you click again and the raised hand goes down. Or if you said yes, you turn it off that way. Who has your answer? The answers say yes. If you don't, who has a textbook, say yes. Who does not have the textbook, say no. Now, it's not whether you purchase it or not, but whether you have it in hand, whether you received the textbook in hand. All right, so people who do not have it, so what's the check mark, Jeremy? Is that yes, you have a hand up. So if you do not have the textbook, say no. I believe, Jeremy, last time we talked, you did not have it, but. Elton, don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
Okay, so if you do not have it, you need to say no. So if you don't have a choice there, I don't know what's up if you didn't answer. So, okay, Guadalupe, oh, you have two answers. So up on top it says yes. Okay, so most of you have the books in hand. Good. Elton and Shachilti already got it. Elton and Jeremy. Okay, so Jeremy, you've already talked with me. So yeah, let's email about that again because I'm ready with that. And then Elton, did you purchase the bundle yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you purchased
So
it.
it will be the electronic version, right? That comes along with the bundle.
No, with the bundle comes the loose leaf. So it'll come as a loose leaf set of files, and I put them in a binder, and I bought nifty little, well, I stole from my son's school stuff, some nifty little tabs to separate the different things, but that makes it easier to go in and out. So that's what you'll get when it's called the loose leaf version. You'll have to put it in a binder. All right, so that's it. So there's only 2 of you and people who aren't here today who I need to deal with the textbook. Okay.
I think Alton was asking if you buy the bundle, do you get the access card as well? So you get the book and the access card.
You get the SAM access card and that book. Yeah, I thought you were asking whether you got an ebook, and no, it's, it's an actual paper copy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meanwhile, you can use the ebook, but if you already purchased it, you'll have it before, because we don't need the ebook yet. We need it in 1 more week. Okay. So in the next assignment that's coming up, the next assignment that's coming up is we still have to deal with 1 more exam, computer concepts exam. And then next week, you'll be asked to start on the first textbook project, which is due in 2 weeks. So you have 1 more week to get it before you actually truly need it. So you're all fine and you'll all be in time. We just need to get it to Jeremy, who is not in Santa Barbara. Okay. Okay, none of you guys have it, so I don't need to go through the rest of this. Okay, perfect. Windows 10, the exam is available. It opened up this morning, so go for it. And if you did already do it, or once you already complete it, then you can start preparing for the computer concepts exam, which again will be some videos this time and some and a SAM training. It'll be a bit different. So today's exam, the exam that you've been training for with the SAM trainings, that's how every exam in the rest of this course is going to be. Hands-on, how to use Word, Access, PowerPoint, do this, do that, make this happen, put an animation in, put a, make a formula. The only exam that's different is the computer concepts exam, the one that's coming next. That'll be a bunch of concepts like, what's a hard drive and what's the point of RAM and stuff like that. And you'll find out what all the questions are. And so the answers for that will just be a simple yes, no, true, false, multiple choice. So for next exam, which is going to open up next week, so you'll have another week to complete it and you'll have to study for it this week. That one will have only one. You can't say yes, 3 times, and let's do no, right? It's either yes or no. You get 1 chance at each one of those answers. All right. Everything else will function like the one that we're doing now. Again, DSPS students, if you have a form to give me, make sure to have it sent to me. At this point, the exam is running, but you still have a week to take it. So if you haven't sent me a form, I need to get it before, last day to take it would be Tuesday, so I need to get it before Monday. The other thing about things is that if you wait until Tuesday to do the exam, at least do it Tuesday morning. There's 5 hours worth of tutors on Tuesday morning in the Zoom lab for Tutor Lab, and if you run into issues with connection or whatever, you can ask them for help, not for help on the exam, but for help as to why something isn't working. Don't leave it till nighttime. I'll be here in this class. You know, you can't do the exam while we're in class and stuff like that. So yeah, don't leave it till the last minute. And this is very important. How many of you are VDI user? Clear your answers again and raise your hand if you're a VDI user. Okay, so everyone with a little blue VDI user hand. You do not need VDI until we start working with Office, okay, with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and stuff like that. For the trainings and for the exams, you can do them all inside of a regular environment. You just need to go to a browser, Chrome or Firefox, okay, and open it up and go to the pipeline course, click, and the pop-up. You need to enable pop-ups, all of this that we did last class. If you didn't see how to do that, if you weren't here, view last week's class where I went through how to clear up all of the pop-ups and things like that and enable them for your computer. And then you're ready to go. So you don't need to use VDI for any of this. The only thing up until now you've needed VDI for is to create those comp folders in your S drive if you are a VDI person. And then as of next week, when we start creating projects in Word, then you'll start needing to do that in VDI as well. All right? Okay. So here's the process to just do the exams and the trainings. You do not need to use VDI. Just go to either Chrome or Firefox. Do not use any other browser. Pipeline, click on the link, enable pop-ups in Flash, start the exam. And make sure to check your system before you, even if you already checked it, because VDI, no, this isn't VDI, because your computer, you might have once used Chrome and this time you're using Firefox, or you forgot and you opened Safari or something like that, then pop-ups won't work. So just make sure that you're in the same browser that you've already enabled pop-ups, in which case you don't need to do it anymore. You're done for the whole extent of the course. But if at any point you switch browsers around to do this, then you need to make sure you have it set up for all of your browsers. Okay? Any questions there before I continue as far as the VDI or browsers or pop-ups or whatnot? Nope. All right, I put a link at the front of our homepage, the same front set of links that took you to the how to register for SAM and how to get your questions answered and how to get tutors. There's also one that takes you to the download the week's presentations. And that's a very important link. Last time I referred it to as the general store for the course. And you go in there, you have the videos, the class recordings, all the extra little explanatory videos I'm making when I'm finding that you need a little bit more on something, handouts for how to enable your pop-ups in your browser, no matter what your browser is, handouts for how to access video, all of that is in there. So that's a very important link. I'll show it to you when I open class, but for those of you who are new to the course as of last week, it's very important that you know how to access all these extra goodies. All right. The exam is going to be worth 50 points and it's 30 hands-on questions. Now, those of you who've done the training, how many tasks does the training have?
30.
Yes, 30. So no surprises there. If you've done the training a bunch of times, the exam is the same, but not the same. Meaning, it's the same tasks, but you won't be asked to do exactly the same thing, right? So, well, when it comes to starting Windows, there aren't many different ways to do it. That'll be probably very similar. But when you have to change file names or something, you'll be asked for a different way. But it's basically, if you run through the training enough times that you know how to do them well, try the apply a bunch of times, and you're comfy with it, you will ace the exam, okay? So there's differences, but it's the same 30 tasks. All right. Can't give it away any longer what you need to do well, right? I think I'm very clear here. Okay, so I'm answering Katie now. It's the same issue as Alton and Xochitl. So tell her, yeah, and tell her if she's working right now, have her join the class. Tell her we're in class right now. Send her the Zoom link. Okay. Sorry, someone's asking her questions and she's, see, she's the tutor. You ask questions to people and she gets to them. All right. All right. It's an open exam, no proctoring. You can take the exam twice, but once you open it, you can't close it and open it and close it and open it. Once you open it, you're doing the exam. And if something goes wrong or if you don't like what you got, you can, if you close it, you only got one more chance. That's it. This is new. We never used to give these second chances. This is the first time we're giving a second chance at the exam, but we're trying to modify given all of the ups and downs of VDI and getting accustomed to the system. In the future, all the other exams that we'll take, you will not get 2 chances for them. Okay, so make sure to that if you close the exam, that's your one try. Before you try the second one, make sure you've solved by going to the tutors and stuff, all of the technical issues that made you stop the first one. And if it was that you just didn't know enough, well, then go study a bit more and then open it up again and finish it up. And not finish it up, and you have to start from the beginning. It's the entire second time. It's not like you interrupt at point 12 and no. It's not timed though, but be careful not to close that window, because if you take off to try to figure something out on a different device, which you're welcome to do. I mean, all I care about is you learning and doing it right. So if you go and learn to do it right, I have no problem with you having to open up the book and go to, well, you don't have the books yet, but going and trying to learn more before you go back and do it right. To me, what I care about is learning. It's not like what grade you get or not, but do you know how to do the task? Because I want you to be good users of Windows and Office. Okay. All right. You'll see a score and it'll say 100%. That's 50 points, not 100 points. Or you'll say, 50%. That'll be 25 points. Does that make sense? Okay, just want to be clear, 100%, it's a total, 100% means 50 points. And here's just, if you have questions about that, divide your percentage by your points, because SAM will give you a percentage. Now, Canvas will grade you in points. And so if in SAM you saw 100%, when you go to Canvas and you see 50 points, there's nothing wrong. That is right. That's how it should be. Any questions before I continue? A lot of you raised your hands, so you know already, but these are the 30 tasks. This is 15 of them that you get in the training, and it's the same set of tasks that you'll get in your exam, but there's a few that I'm pointing out here in particular that are different if you try to do them VDI. So these are some of the ones that I'll be showing you for what in real life, during the rest of the course, you need to do this in VDI. You know how to open your file explorer to find your S drive, for example, right? And then here as well. Oh, sorry. Things like that change. All right. So here's the, and the reason I passed through these quickly, like, oh, you didn't have time to read through those 30 or 50. I'm going to be explaining this to you now when I stop with the PowerPoint, but I always put this information in the PowerPoint. And it's all there so that if you are like, what was it that was due next week? What are the points? You can go and download this presentation, right? So that's why this information is there. You can look at the dates and all that. So it's not like me talking to you right now. I'm going to go and talk to every one of those 30 points. So I'm going to do that in real life. We're going to demonstrate that stuff. But I want you to know that that's available for you in that same place where you get the video and the class recordings. You get to download these class presentations for each one of the classes that we've had. So at the very least, the 3 of you guys who haven't attended this course before know that you can download presentations, these PowerPoint presentations for the last two classes to show you what are the points that really matter that you need to know and learn. Okay. So here is what you need to do to prepare for the practice exam. For the real exam, you need to do the training and do the practice exam. Now, notice here that there's a deadline on it and it says 0 points. These do not have points. You will not, just because you did these right, they're worth 0 points. But when I didn't have them as assignments and I just had them as a link in the module, people would skip over them and not really think of doing them, versus by giving them a 0 points grade, they show up in your syllabus so that you see that this assignment has to be done, because if you don't do the training, you won't do well on the exam. Does that make sense? So don't expect grades. It's not like, oh, I did my training, I got a grade. No. It was my workaround to make it show up in your list of things to do for the week. Otherwise, you have to be very good about going through the module. And in person, I can point that to you, but when I'm in class. But here I was finding that people who run ahead and just do the course on their own, we're skipping this. And so there's no points for these. And I wrote it a few times, but I just want you guys to be clear. They're for your benefit, not for grade. I think this we talked about last week, what a training does. It has those observe, practice, and apply. It's the apply section, the one when you fly solo, where it just tells you, open a window, that you need to know how to do it, where it just says, check the screen resolution. And that's all it'll say, and you need to do it. And that's the apply. The observe shows you how to do it. The practice points you and waits for you to do it, points you, waits for you to do it, points for you, and waits for you to do it. And the apply just says, okay, do it. And that's the one that you need to achieve in 3 clicks. Not in 3 clicks, because maybe it takes 7 clicks to do the whole task, but each time you try to do the next point in the task, you can only get it wrong 2 times. By the 3rd click, if you didn't get it, it just assumes the whole 7 points of the task are gone. You'll get a feeling when you do the exam. Okay, so it's the apply that imitates the exam environment. So that's the one you need to do again and again, and bring it down to not clicking around to get this right. The practice exam only has 5 tasks, and I just said this already. It's for you to practice the chance to get it right. So I think I showed you guys in the training last week, but it's the same for the exam. The instruction box that says, open up a new window, for example, that sometimes gets in the way of you doing it because it's a box with an instruction, but it's a box that you can click and drag out of the way. That doesn't count as a click, okay? It's just moving it out of the way so you can access the place you need to put in the password, for example, and it only happens a few times and depends on the size of your window, but a few times it does get in the way. So then just push it out of the way. That doesn't count as a click. It's just moving stuff around so you can get to it. If you've already done the training, you might, and the applies, you might know what gray box I'm talking about. If not, when I open up an exam here, I'll show you that one. And then people who already are on a Windows computer, you need to be careful, because then you get a double taskbar. You know what I mean? Those of you who are on a Windows computer know what I'm talking about. You get your real one, and then you get the virtual one. So you need to make sure that you're clicking on the virtual one for the exam. Again, I'll show you this. I write it here for you to review, but I will show you in person. This is how an exam is going to go. When you've clicked more than 3 times, it'll send you to the, go to the next task. No, this is the training where you can retry the task. But in the real, like you've clicked on the wrong thing, it'll go, okay, you can try one more time. And then you click on the wrong thing again. Okay, you got 1 attempt remaining. You click on the wrong thing. And then it just says, okay, task incorrect, gives you a little cross and says, you don't know this one, and moves on. And you can't go back to it. It's an exam. There's no way to redo that one. Any questions there? If you have any questions, you'll experience it first, and then you'll be able to see what I mean. All right. I'm going to stop showing you this for a minute. Let me see. Well, let me just show you the end of this, and then I'll go and we'll just do the rest. It's going to be practical. So let me show you. This was the assignment that was due tonight. Now, the good news is that I thought we were gonna do it in class, but with this new, which we always do in school when we are in person, but because of this online thing where you're seeing all your assignments, guess what? 99% of you guys already submitted it, which is awesome. Good job, you guys. Woohoo. So we're not gonna have me do it here, but if you haven't completed it yet, and I'm talking to a few of you who just started the course and need help, when I'm done today with all of this explanation about the exams and windows and stuff, then I can stay behind and not stay behind, I'll be here. You can stay and we can do it together, okay, if you need some help. But what I will show you all though is when I am showing you how, giving you a bit more of a Windows lecture, I'll show you how to do it quickly. And here, and for those of you who already went ahead and did, it's part of learning how to handle yourself comfortably in Windows, is that I wanted you first to create the folder structure in the File Explorer. But that's where we ran into problems with VDI or not VDI, right? Because if you are a VDI person, it wasn't easy to find the File Explorer. So here I gave you plan A and plan B. I have got a couple of screenshots so that if you're doing this on your own later. So this is, if you are not using VDI, this is how it should be in real Windows, okay? And in real Windows, you would go put it in your documents folder. You would create a folder called Word, and then you would put your modules 1, module 2, Excel, and all that kind of stuff. So this is in the, if you own a Windows computer with Windows 10 installed, and that's what you're going to use, that's what you need to do. But if you're using VDI, because you're a Mac user and you have no other place to do this assignment in, or because you have an older version of Windows, or something like that, then you need to use VDI. And this is so important, which is I put it in this obnoxious pink color because it's so important for the entire rest of your course. Do not, in VDI, create any assignment. You're going to work for hours on these textbook projects. And if you save it anywhere other than in your S drive, it will disappear. You put in 2 hours of work, and then you go to have dinner, and you close VDI. And when you open up VDI, guess where those 2 hours went? Down the drain, okay? So if you want to be able to open VDI again the next day and keep working, come back from work, whenever, finish your assignment, it needs to be saved in your S drive. I've received emails from kind of a few of you guys if you didn't have the S drive, but now I need you to really confirm that you have your S drive. New people to the course, you need to have your S drive. You would have it also in this PC, but it wouldn't be in your documents folder. Do not save it. All of these desktop documents, downloads, pictures, all of these files within VDI are poison. Don't put anything in them, okay? If this is VDI, imagine there's a skull over here. It's like, no, avoid me, like if it was quicksand. The only place you use is your S drive. And then yes, anything you put in there is saved as if it were in the school's computer, and when you show up again, you need to keep working. So if you download an assignment and you download the pictures for the flyer, you'll see you'll have to download stuff and download files to go with it. And you leave them in the downloads folder, guess what? When you come back, they're gone, okay? So the moment you download stuff, you need to transfer everything to your S drive and then start working from your S drive from then on. Pretty clear on that? I'll keep repeating that as we get going and as we start working in Word, which is our first app that we're going to be doing. I'll remind you again to do everything in the S drive. But today you need to confirm whether you have it. There were like 5 of you who were missing it. Anyone who added to the course didn't have it. So if you haven't yet told me you don't have it or you don't know where to find it, when I get into showing you Windows, you go check and see if you have it. Most of you checked last week in class. Now this is a uber complicated setup of what your comp folder should look like, right? Comp 101, Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, Module 1 and Module 2, but you could even break it down into, you're always gonna have a textbook project, which is literally following from A to Z of your textbook for an exercise. And then you're gonna have 2 more projects called SAM, SAM 1A and SAM 1B, okay? So that's that's what you're going to have to do for each module. So Word is going to have 2 modules. So you're going to be doing 3 assignments and then 3 assignments. So that's 6 assignments for Word, 6 assignments for Excel, 6 assignments for PowerPoint, and Screech comes to a halt. Only 1 module, 3 assignments for Access. Okay. Now setting all this up repeatedly, it's like, oh, really? Do I need to keep? How many folders did you have to create here by the time you're done? 250,000 or so, it seems. But the only difference is the main one here. So just so you guys get efficient with your time and yourselves, all you really needed to do is create 1 set of folders, Word, Module 1 and Module 2. And I didn't have you do this. Again, we do that when it's in person, but I thought it might get a bit too deep. So if you want to do it today, where inside of Module 1, you're also separate between Textbook Project and SAM projects. It does get to a place where you get so many little accessory files that you might want to distinguish how many things you need to download and where to put them. So then if you created the Word Module 1 and Module 2, you might as well go ahead and put in Module 1 Textbook Project and SAM, in Module 2 Textbook Project and SAM. And after that, all you need to do is copy the Word folder, and everything that's inside of it gets copied as well. Paste it, and then rename that to Excel. Paste it again, rename it to PowerPoint. Paste it again, rename it to Access, and suddenly you've got your entire structure set up with 1. Okay, so I'm explaining it to you here, but that's something I'm going to just demonstrate and have you guys do it to get comfy with this. This is way beyond exam or not. Yes, the exam's going to test you how to create folders and stuff like that, but this is the most crucial stuff you need to learn for real life. And for me, I don't care your grade. I want you to go out there and do really well, knowing where your files are, being someone who knows how to work with files. And this is the kind of stuff you need to do and be good at. And the copy paste, do it with shortcuts, you know, Option C, Command C, Control C, not go up to the copy and down, because that, you do that in front of an employer who wants to hire you and they go, this is a newbie. You do a couple of shortcuts and they go, I'm hiring this person's fast. And that's the kind of stuff I want you to do, the level I want you to get out of when you leave this course, okay? So the only change would be when you get to Access, you just select Module 2 and delete it, and it'll delete with whatever's inside of it and you're left with Module 1. So that's a quick way to end up with just one little setup. You quickly set this crazy thing up. Okay, just because you copied and pasted 4 times, that's all it takes, and rename 3 folders, that's all it takes. Does that make sense? Okay, and then you were supposed to do a little snip to screen capture to show me at the very least one of your setups. All right. So for those of you who have not created it, we're gonna do this. And for those of you who only created just to turn in the assignment, the Word Module 1 and 2, and that's all you did because you wanted to be done with the assignment, that's not gonna be good enough for the course. So yes, you got the 5 extra credit points, but what you really need to do is this. You need to set up all 4 folders in your comp folder, and when we're working through the next 15 weeks, when you're working with Access, that stuff is going into the Access textbook project. You know what I mean? Because there'll be a time when you're working on an assignment, you have to redo it, you submit it, you got corrections, you redo it again, and then you'll go, where was my fresh one? Which one was my latest one? Oh, did I submit my new one or did I just submit my old one? Did I make my corrections on the right one? It can get really confusing. And so mastering, understanding file management. If you walk out of here with good file management, you are eons ahead of the majority of people who work in an office environment, okay? I have people who come to my, web design and courses, people who've been using computers forever, and they're using advanced programs and they lose files, they don't understand file management. So this part is pretty crucial, all right? So don't just sit there in your little, I did my Word Module 1, Module 2 for the assignment. Please do with me, if that's what you did, all 4 and all the subfolders, because that is going to be helpful for you. It's going to be helpful when you're asking Katie for help through your Zoom and she's, where did you put your file? I'm like, I don't know. She can't search your whole computer for the file that you were working on. She'll be able to find it and come back and then I'll help you, right? So knowing where you put things, where you take them from, where you take them out from. I'm stepping off my soapbox, but that's the most important thing you can get out of this assignment. All right. I want you to be good at file management. All right. A couple of times you've been told to click on a link. If you have clicked on all of the links to watch a couple of videos in LinkedIn Learning, it used to be lynda.com. Has anyone done that yet? Some of the windows, I'm getting blank looks, you haven't. But if you actually pay attention to the, to reading everything that's in the course, it does take you to a couple of Windows videos from LinkedIn Learning. And so I just wanted to tell you that when you click on the link, it'll take you, I've made a video for that. I've made a video that I believe I sent you guys in an email. Did I send that to you in an email?
Yeah, but it's
Thank
just one video with a bunch of modules, right?
The
link.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was separated. Is it the VDI one? Anyway, I do know that I put it in the download, today's presentation. I did put the video of how to access the LinkedIn Learning videos, because when you first get into the account, it tries to get you to sign into your own LinkedIn, and you have to say, do not connect, do not connect. So if you know what I'm talking about, you watch the video. If you didn't, then watch it. But when you click,
there's like just one video with a bunch of modules. Was it supposed to be more than one video for Windows?
I did a separate video for the LinkedIn.
Okay. Well,
Oh, you mean inside of the course?
yes.
I think there's 2 chances to get to LinkedIn. Maybe there's only one.
No, I was
Maybe
able
the
to
other
get
one
it.
is in my PowerPoint. I'm also teaching the online PowerPoint course. Maybe the other one's in my online PowerPoint course. I thought that in this course there were 2 LinkedIn videos. Maybe, oh no, the other one takes you to the CGF Global Free. Yeah.
But when I went to that LinkedIn, it only had the getting started with Windows. It had one video with a bunch of sub modules. Is that it? Just the
Yeah,
one?
that's the one. That's the one. I thought that maybe there's another one, but it's coming up in the next module then. But if you did all of the stuff, which I can now always look at Vera and find out, because clearly she's the one who does every single thing. Yay, Vera. You'll be having to say do not connect a few times. And if you try to access on your own because you want to learn, LinkedIn Learning is an amazing source of tutorials for just about anything under the sun that's technology. So not only for this course, but for any other reason, if you try to use LinkedIn Learning tutorials on your own as on a personal level, it's like a $50 a month subscription. So to get to it for free, beyond what you're going to learn in this course, if you sign in through Pipeline, okay, so you go in and you click on Pipeline and you go into your student tab, okay, student resources, LinkedIn Learning, it's on that page. The important thing is to pay attention to this thing that says, clicking on continue without linking, do not connect my account. Do that 2 or 3 times, and that's the thing that I demonstrate in the video. And then you get to your videos and you can do all of that for free. You can download them. You can watch them online. You can also download them. There's an app. You can download them and watch them offline. There's a lot there. So I link to a course that shows you about, yeah, I think it's four sub videos of that course that you need to watch. But I want you guys to have access to this resource because it's amazing for anything else under the world that you're doing. All of you guys, a ton of you guys are doing all of the medical coding and the HITs, you know, I learned all in your introduction. There's a ton of you guys going into all of that. And you're going to find anything to your heart's content in here. Okay. All right. So that presentation is now going to be, I'll show you now where it'll be available for you. And just for a second. And for the rest of you guys, what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move this over for a second and start showing you the steps that I just, for those of you who, you know, have it all done, totally do not need any of what I just talked about. What you need to do next is do the training for computer concepts, prepare for that, and work on one of the first assignments that, one of the first SAM project assignment, a little sample project assignment to learn how to go to download files and upload them. So that's the only part. So for someone like Vera who's done it and who's even done the exam, you can start working on the computer concept stuff and on the first SAM project. So I'm going to show you my course. But for anyone else who is still doing the steps, so now I'm going to go and I need to do it over here. I'm going to show you in the course what's due next. Perfect. And how to do that which you still need to do. How to prepare for what's due next week. So I need to sign into my Not Me account. So I'm going to go into Pipeline. And sign in right there. So I'm signing in as a student. That is not me right now. Okay, and so by the way, over here under student resources, right here, this is what I was talking about. This is where you find the LinkedIn. Let me put a little spotlight thing on it. This is where you find the LinkedIn Learning, okay? And if you click on that, the first time you do it, you'll be asked a bunch of like, connect your account, and stuff like that. And by the time you're done saying that, you will go straight in like I am. You're going straight in. And then you can just go in and search for something. So say that you guys are into technology and you have a whole bunch, like someone mentioned they're into cloud computing or IT. Someone said they want to be on the IT help desk. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, network security. So say that you click on that and look at all the different, you know, courses that you have under that and things like that. So there's a ton of that. I'm in the creative side, and so everything I do is more in the photography, graphic design, Photoshop, Illustrator, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to learn how to do that, you click on that, and there's bazillions of them. Or you can just type in here something that you're interested in learning, and so they say that you want to learn more about Access, right? And so you click on the word Access, and here you go. You have, you know, Access 29 essential training, and it's a 3 hours and 40 minutes and stuff like that. So you need to understand that these are videos, and I totally—
Do you find yourself swimming?
I totally get that YouTube has a lot that you can learn from YouTube, but they're little videos, they're not curated. Now and then they help you with a little question. But when you really need to learn something completely, these tutorials are very well done. And they come with exercise files, right? So you can click on these exercise files, download them onto computer, and then when he's in chapter 7, he'll say, open, you know, chapter 7 or whatever, and then whatever the guy does, you can do as well. You can take notes, you can see transcripts, a whole bunch of stuff. So these are really, really high-level courses, and as I said, if you tried to pay for this account, it would be $50 a month. So while you're a student at City College, take advantage of this thing, because that's why you're getting it for free. Well, for free, for being the fact that you're a student. Okay, so now I'm closing LinkedIn and I'm opening Canvas. Any questions about LinkedIn or LinkedIn Learning? LinkedIn. It's nothing to do with the personal or professional LinkedIn account you might have, which if you do have, if you connect it to your personal one, then the videos and stuff might not be free. That's why it says do not connect to your personal, if you own a LinkedIn account, so that you can keep accessing all of it for free as a student, not as you, the professional who has your LinkedIn account. Does that make sense? All right, so if we go into Comp 101, The important thing is to read these announcements, because one thing that's happening is because of the code being the wrong code, when I created this course with all of the assignments, all of those assignments did not link to the right thing anymore. So I am painstakingly going in and replacing every single assignment. And that's why, have you been getting an obnoxious amount of emails from me? Oh, here it comes again. I'm sleeping and it beeps again because I'm usually doing over the wee hours of the morning. And you open up in the morning, you have like 10 things from me. And it's like, she's modified an assignment, created an assignment, modified. That's what I'm doing. I'm deleting what's there, replacing it, entering a new one, setting it up again. So I apologize, but there's no way to prevent you getting that message, right? Because as I said, it could be important that you know that an assignment has been modified. And so Canvas is going, oh, students need to know. But usually this we set up before students are live. And so we set it all up. And then when the course is live, there might be a few modifications here and there. But now I'm doing it while you guys are live. And I can't unpublish the course to do this and start it again, because then you'd lose all your grades. So I'm sorry for all the emails you're getting. But now and then I send an important email. And since you're getting so many, my emails might be, my important ones might be getting lost in between. You know what I mean? And that's my main concern. So if you want to know the kind of stuff that I do want you to know, here in the recent announcements, oh, there's Michelle. There you go. Here in the recent announcements, I have the ones that including the one that I sent. Please ignore those announcements. But here's how to access VDI, your S drive, here's a Zoom link, et cetera, et cetera. So the last 5 will be posted here. If you need to see all of them, you click on announcements, because maybe you want to link to the link for the, maybe I told you about the good link to buy your bundle from. And so basically these are all the announcements I've been sending, okay? From the welcome to today's. But when you're in home, you see the last 5. Okay, so check them out in case you missed one every time you come, in case there's a new one that you didn't read that you just kind of ignored because so much was happening. All right, this is the place that I tell you is like the big old, you know, most important part of this course. First of all, the link for today's meeting. This is the same place, but I put 2 names on it because some people only want to watch the recordings, but really these 2 take you to the same page that has, it's the general store. It's the one that has everything that you need to know. This is where you ask questions. And this is the goodie where I said, this is how you get technical support when I'm not around. Again, instead of asking me something and waiting around, check over here. There's 3 options. If you are asking a question within any of these hours, from 1 to 5 p.m. on Mondays, 9 to 1 on Tuesdays, there's a lot of hours, 3 hours on Wednesday, and so on and so forth. It goes from the morning to the evening to the afternoon, every day of the week. Click on this link and someone like Katie or Norma or Esther, there's 3, will be on the other side and help you do your assignments. And they won't help you do your exam, but they will help you with anything else under the sun. And if you're having technical issues with your exam, they will help you too. But for your assignments, for questions, for how come my link isn't working, for all that kind of stuff, many times they know the workaround. And when it's not, when it's something that truly they can't figure out because like when the code wasn't working, then they'll text me and say, so-and-so is asking me this. And then I'll know it comes from Katie, and wherever I'm at, unless I'm in the middle of lecturing, I can give her a solution to then help you. Does that make sense? So the tutors connect directly with me, and I might know that someone is urgently on with them in Zoom at that point. Versus you having to ask a question in the email that I'll get to when I get to working on this course, okay? When you need support on a technical, for all the technical stuff outside of the actual assignment, you need help with your Office or VDI or just any other software, not how to complete your assignments, but how to use Word or something like that. Monday through Thursday, 9:30 to 8. She even said 8:30, I think. So that's a whole bunch of time, right? That you can click on this link. and I keep showing this when I've showed it every time, but it's so important because I'm not sure that people are using this much yet. And I am getting a lot of questions myself, and I'm like, you guys, look at all the help I provided other than me. NetTutor, and then this is the only one that's nixed because the campus isn't open, okay? So to go back, click on home, you go back to those basic setups. And I know that those of you guys who've been attending have seen this 25 times, but I want to make sure this is the 27th time, and then I won't keep showing this because I think all the new people who haven't yet seen this are here today. So this one, Zoom class recordings or download class presentations, it doesn't matter which one you go, it takes us to the same place. This is the page that really like the little train that could, right? This is the page that has everything. So for week 1, I have, that's the presentation for week 1, how to download Office for free. That video I had, it was more than 4 hours long and you don't get captions. And so I had to break it into 2 because I stayed longer. So that's why it's in 2 parts. Usually this is a 4-hour video, so 1 is enough. Here's the syllabus, here's more information, how to connect to VDI, Zoom training, I'm looking. You're right, the video for just how to do LinkedIn Learning is not here, which is fine, I'll put it up here. Here's the presentation for last week. Here's class. Look, you got, Katie, you got on the picture for that one. So this is the entire class last week. How to do pop-up, snipping tool, and then how to access VDI in your own student drive. If you haven't watched this video yet, please do so. It's the most important video here. And I'm gonna put in here the LinkedIn Learning one now. Let me have a minute when people begin working on stuff. So this is your go-to page for anything else that you need if you missed the class. And make sure that you check on the PowerPoint presentation to see everything I've explained about what's due and what's not due and what you get to do and what you don't get to do before you ask me a question, because it's there. And if it's not in the PowerPoint presentation, it's in the class. And don't like assume that every time you have a question that I'll be available to answer. All right. Any questions about this before we keep going with the modules? Any questions about anything before I keep going with the modules? Nope. All right, hi Michelle, nice to see you. Can I ask you, Michelle, to put your, to go over your little video and yeah, put your name, there we go. And then sign in, or not sign in, but write in the chat that you're here. Cool. Okay, so then when you move outside of home, the other really important spot is modules. If you want to go step by step and be told what to do, if you didn't come to class, you need to go step by step through the modules. But if you did come to class, you know what to do. You want to go straight to the assignments, you go to syllabus. Okay, so I'm going to click on syllabus right now, and you just look at the due date, and you notice that for today, what's due is the comp folder screenshot, okay? So if you haven't done it yet, you need to do it. Now these things that are gray, those are past due, right? Now sometimes I'll have a special one, I had to set up a special one for Elton, for Jojo, for a couple of people I had a special one. So if you go to your own syllabus, you might notice that there's a deadline that's not here, because for you guys, please go check. You should have a September 12th for the orientation one. And do you have it? Is it there? This is the time I want to see. Can you please go check? By the way, when we're doing this, now's the time for you to be doing it yourself as well, so that you can practice this. So like if you don't have, if you're just sitting there back there watching me, then later you'll go email, where did you show me the syllabus? And I'm like, no, this is the time for you to have it pulled up, have Zoom pushed to one side, and you pull up your Canvas course and click on here and check if under syllabus you find the assignments that I'm telling you that I assigned you specifically that you said you didn't see. And if right now you don't see them and share your screen and I don't see them, then yeah, well, I want to see what's happening, right? So I want to put you guys through the steps to see how come those assignments aren't showing up. For everyone else, people who joined us at the end of last week, I gave them a pass on the deadline for the orientation assignments, and a couple of them have said they can't find them, so I'm showing them where. But for all of you guys, you should have the September 8th for today, which is still not in purple because they're due at 11:59 p.m. After 11:59 p.m., it'll get kind of grayish or purple or whatever that color is. And then the next set of things that are due is this. So you need to complete the Windows training, the Windows practice exam, and take the exam. Nope. But the one thing that I haven't talked about yet here, it says submit SAM for 2019 Getting Started Project 1A. Now, my plan is to have us actually do that in class next week. As much as today, we're going to do this one in class. So if you do this one over the week, and I'm looking at the time, I might even have a chance to do it with you today. Depends on, because most of you did that. So maybe I can just work on this today with you guys, because this is our first actual SAM project assignment. Don't worry, you don't need the book for it, but it's where I'm going to show you how to actually work the whole rest of the course. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have a chance to show it to you. Okay. But all of this is what's due by next Tuesday. But since it's due by midnight, that's why doing this before midnight, as much as doing this today before midnight, is going to work. Now, don't leave taking the Windows exam until the end of next Tuesday. You have a whole week. If you click on that, it'll open up. But don't open it up until you're ready to take it. First do this, then that. Okay? I'm ready to actually show you. I showed you the training last week in detail. So I would like to skip to the practice exam, but first I want to know, I will show you the training and ask you, do you have any questions about the training? Something that you did or didn't know, you tried and couldn't figure out? I saw a couple of, Marcy? I can't hear you. Any questions there? Nope. All right, hello, no questions? No questions about the training. Awesome, that means it's working. But if you haven't done it yet, you should have questions. You should be like, I don't know. So some of you might have not done it yet. I have not checked. In the background of SAM, I can check who's done it or not, but this one isn't graded. I'm not checking whether you're doing it. It's up to you. If you don't do it, you won't do well on the exam. So it's completely up to you whether you do it or not. This, on the other hand, is an assignment, and it's worth 5 points, and this is worth 50 points. So these you do need to do, but these two are suggested that you do them. So I'm going to click on the Windows training. When you click on that, it says you won't repeat points for this training, but it is crucial uniquely. Now, I had written all of that inside of the modules, but I still got the question saying, well, why didn't I get points? So now I actually even explicitly put it in here, just so people are very clear that this is not a grade giving assignment. And so I'm going to click Load Complete Windows. And for those of you who have not yet put in your code, which proves that you've purchased SAM, I am going to show you what's the process to access SAM. I'm still waiting for the answer from Alton and Xochitl. Did you see the syllabus assignment? Did you see the assignment in the syllabus? Yes, Xochitl?
Yes.
You both found it?
Yes.
Okay, and when you click on it, did it let you in?
No, it doesn't.
It still is saying it doesn't. So in a little bit, I'm going to stop and ask you to show me. I wanted to get that message because I need to figure out that. And I'm going to try to work it so that when I'm done with this part of the lecture, I'll work on your guys. And Michelle had the same question. Michelle, Xochitl, and Alton, you're stuck in this loop where you have the
Correct.
but you can't get in, okay?
I just opened up another tab and it does say the same thing. It keeps on giving me an error message saying that this assignment is neither not available yet or there is no more attempts available for it. So it keeps on giving me the same error.
Hold on you three, because since it's an issue of you guys who are doing it late for various reasons, I'm gonna deal with you and help you out, but after everyone else, okay?
Absolutely, thank you.
So now
Okay.
here we are in the, I haven't paid yet. So instead of taking me straight to the assignment, it's asking me, hey, did you purchase the code? If you do, enter it now. So those of you who purchased it and received it, this is the time to click enter it now. But if you're still doing the free trial, then click on continue. Ignore all the other offers. Scroll all the way down. Do not pay $120. It's much more expensive than buying it the right way, and click on start free trial. And I think they extended our free trial because of there are problems. But it'll depending on when you started it initially, the timing is almost over. Okay, so remember to check your system. Okay, and that's the part that had to do with by checking your system, it'll tell you whether everything is compatible and your problems are enabled. So you see a little X here. Watch last week's video. And I told you what to do, or ask me after I'm done with the main lecture if you weren't there, and I'll tell you again what to do. But if you say any X, you have to enable your stuff. Okay. So when you're done with your system check, you come back and you say, if you do an exam and your system check isn't there and the pop-ups aren't working, your exam won't work. So it's really important to check your system. All right, so we've started our training. And let me stop for a minute because I'm getting a lot of noise from the other side of the house and it's okay. Sorry about that. Someone in the kitchen trying to cook dinner for us has a podcast on. I'm like, I can't teach over a podcast. So I had to tell him to put the sound down. So during the day, we're all, everyone's in class, my kids, my husband, are in meetings, and then somebody suddenly goes and wants to microwave something because, it's lunchtime, and you hear from the rooms, my Zoom disconnected. We have this issue where Zoom disconnects when someone microwaves. So I've got little notes going, do not start microwave, I'm in class, So now everyone's done, and here I am teaching, and they're like, wait a minute, I can't put on my podcast. Nope, not on Tuesday nights. So they're accustomed. I always teach Tuesday nights, but they're accustomed that I'm gone until 10 p.m. at school, right? And now I'm here, so they're having to be quiet. Okay, so here are all my tasks, and if I have run through all of them and done the apply correctly, I will get a little check mark. But if I haven't done the apply yet, no matter that I've tried to do sign into Windows 20 times, if I haven't completed the apply correctly, I will not get a little check mark. Now, even if I get a check mark, it doesn't mean anything because maybe to get that check mark, I had to click on it 25 times, in which case you need to keep practicing it, right? So if you just kind of keep going next, you'll run through the 30 tasks. But if there's 1 or 2 tasks that you really didn't understand, then you can use this task and you can run down and go, well, I want to learn again how to delete a file or folder, for example. So you just click on that one task to go and run through that one that you really don't understand well enough yet. There's 3 settings. Observe, which you kind of lean back and wait, and it shows you what to do. I'm going to skip that one because I'm assuming that maybe by now you've all observed at least all the tasks. So then you're ready to practice. So you go to practice. Now the practice mode is a bit more useful. This is where you learn. So I'll click on that. And
before you delete a folder, make sure you no longer need any of the files inside it.
Okay, so it talks to you.
Click the graphics folder to select it.
And it tells you what to do. And then it sits there, and it'll sit there for 20 hours until you actually click on that folder. So that's what the practice means. It tells you what to do. Now, I kind of like it to go faster. So over here, I can either pause the whole thing, the simulation, or I can click on that and make it go faster. So if it's something you're just trying to just practice again, if it's the first time, you can listen to it at real speed. But when I'm kind of just wanting to practice it, I'll put it in faster speed than that. And if you're the kind of person who really likes to read stuff, some people really read things and they, visual and auditory, then you can also click on the T and have the transcript up. So this is the transcript, and I need to bring it down from on. and I can see exactly the thing that it's telling me to do. Oh, have you not been seeing anything I'm doing?
No,
We
I
haven't
was
got-
looking, I thought, but I was like, wait, this looks like the Windows 10 training with the check
So
system.
all this time that I've been showing stuff, someone should have said, Deanna, we're not seeing the windows, because what you are seeing is showing up as this little thing for me. And I just looked at it and went, wait, that's still the start file. So you guys, okay, I'm going to change my screen. If I'm saying this is what you should be seeing and you're not seeing it, we're in trouble here. So you guys have to be part of the conversation. Okay.
I was
Now,
visualizing it.
so I'm going to close this, minimize this. Oh, that's true. It's just that I'm showing you this stuff in a different way than I did last. So I'm gonna put the chats over here, and here we go. So this is what I'm gonna be showing you now. Okay, can you see both of these things now? Yeah, I tried to show you just the screen because it's easier to demonstrate on just the screen, but then the pop-ups don't go. Okay, so here's the pop-up. All right, so say that I want, so what I was saying, let me just start this little thingy again. All I did was I clicked on the start, right? And when I clicked on the start, it started in observe mode, and it just kind of reads, just shows you what to do. In the practice mode, it shows you what to do, but
Before
it
you delete a
also,
folder, make sure you no longer need any of the files inside it.
so see how quick
Click
that
the
went?
graphics folder to select it.
That's because by then you've already heard it, you already processed the information, and you're ready to just do it. And so I just put it on 1.5. That's why it went. But you know, the first time you hear it, make sure to hear it so that you can absorb it. But now I just want to get to the practice because I practiced and it wasn't working, so I want to hear it again. So then I click on the graphic folder to select
Press the
it.
delete key.
Once I pressed it, it tells me the next thing to do. Press the delete key. And I'm like, delete key, what delete key? And I look around and say that I instead hit that. That's not the delete key. That's a different thing that says delete. The delete key would be, a key is in the keyboard, right? But say I clicked on this instead. Task incorrect, okay? So then I go, okay, press the delete key, and then maybe I thought that it, I don't know, I'm inventing, I do it wrong again. Task incorrect. I can do it wrong, I can keep doing it wrong, and I keep telling task incorrect. This is because it's the training until I finally do it right. But if this were the exam, that's it. I did 3 wrong things, and it's considered that the whole thing is wrong, even if I missed this one step. So now I'm going to press the delete key. So I'm going to go to my keyboard and press the delete key, and it says task incorrect. And so here's the problem. The delete key on the PC and on the Mac keyboards are different. Have you come across this problem yet? And so I actually, sorry, I clicked without meaning to. I actually tried to do it doing like a right click. And when you do a right click and you have a Mac mouse, and I'm on a Mac machine. And so I'm trying to figure out how to do this. And to do a right click on a Mac's machine, you have to do a control click and stuff like that because the PC doesn't listen to it, and it's not letting me either. So I'm kind of stuck here because I'm trying to do this assignment and I can't, okay? So has anyone tried to do this training and run into this problem who owns a Mac? Like Vera, you own a Mac, right?
Yeah, but I'd use PC because the Mac doesn't really interface well with this training.
So you have a PC.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing it. Is anyone else who did this on a Mac to get this assignment? Has no one on a Mac come across this assignment yet? Seal.
I was able to do it by double clicking on or double tapping on the trackpad.
On the what?
On the trackpad, on the mouse pad.
On the,
and I used my mouse. Yeah, I used 2 fingers and double clicked on that.
Okay, so here, when it's not working, for those of you Mackies like me, where you're trying to do it right, if you go to the very top of the task, there is a thing called Mac help. So I don't know how many of you guys are, I had asked you last time, but on a Mac. And for tasks that require the delete key, on a full-size keyboard, press the delete key on the numeric keypad. But I don't have the full size, you know, so this here is a small size keyboard, which is what I have. I have my other computer with a full-size keyboard, and that's what it means, the numeric keypad. Both of them are Mac keyboards, and then I have my PC over there. Too many computers. So if it's not working, you Mac people who have to use your Mac for this, you have to go here and say, okay, now on an Apple Magic keyboard, which is what a laptop would have, hold the function key on the keyboard while pressing the delete key. Oh, okay, thank you for that. So I'll go over here and I'll hold the function key, and then I'll hit the delete key. Now, let me go over here, press the delete.
Windows moves the folder
And
to the
now it
recycle
works.
bin, and the recycle bin icon changes to indicate it contains deleted items.
Anyway, so you got it? So now it worked, okay? So this is for people who have that extra additional, wait, it's not working for me because I'm on a Mac keyboard. Now, we've run into some people who have Chromebooks that have this problem too. Who has a Chromebook? Jeremy, I emailed you something about that. Are you still on your Chromebook?
Yes, I'm still on a Chromebook. I'm going to be looking around for an old PC laptop.
Because this gives you a workaround for the Mac, but there's no workaround for the Chromebook. And you're going to get to certain places and assignments where the Chromebook does not have the keys that you need. And there's no way to make it work. And then you won't be able to do the task. Does that make sense? So we thought that with VDI, the Chromebook that school is delivering is going to work. But we're discovering that there's some things, and I'm not clear exactly what yet. Maybe Katie, you guys who are testing it know better. The TAs are testing things out and letting us know when things are not working. The TAs are testing things out and letting us know when things are not working. I'm talking to Jeremy, I'm getting that weird thing, but take your sound down when I'm talking.
Jeremy, I'm getting that weird thing, but take your sound down when I'm talking. That really.
But if anyone's on a Chromebook, you know.
I forgot.
If anyone's on a Chromebook, you know.
I'm letting Jeremy go so that I don't have that. Oh, nothing to say? Okay. Are you trying to speak, and is it not working? Or okay, so basically, I'm gonna hope that Katie, when you have more information about what's up with the Chromebooks, and I'm gonna ask Lori to tell me so that I can find out exactly when it's not working. I don't have a Chromebook to test this with, and I don't know what's not working on Chromebooks, but I just showed you the workaround for Macs, okay? Anyone here, raise your hands, like do like this if you're a Mac person doing this assignment, this work on a Mac. Okay, Elton. I think there were 3 or 4 more. Cecile, okay. So now, in my other class, I have a lot of Mac people. So that's the workaround when something is not working. And so learn it and practice it here, because when you go to the exam, it's going to say delete something, and you'll have to know that for you, you're going to have to hold down the function key. So the function key is the furthest, if you have a laptop, the furthest bottom left key, that's your function key. You have to hold on to that and then press the delete key, okay? That's the workaround. And if you have a big keyboard, then just use the delete key here from the numbers pad. Anyway, and so on and so forth. So whenever something isn't working, go and check and see if the Mac help tells you what the difference is, okay? All right, I just wanted to show you that because I know I had not shown that last time. And then the apply, and then you go to the apply, and this is that gray box I was telling you about. The gray box, this is the exam. The exam will just say, delete the graphics folder. That's all it will say. It won't say the graphics folder. It'll use another example, but it'll say delete the graphics folder. And what if the way your screen is set up, that box is right on top of the graphics folder? It can happen depending on the size of your screen. And you're like, what graphics folder? So then know that clicking on this box to move it out of the way does not count as one of your clicks. So then you go, oh, there's the graphics folder. Okay, so I can delete the graphics folder. And when you click on it, if you're in my case on this kind of keyboard, I hold down the function and I hit the delete, and then it says apply complete, you have deleted. But I had to do my little Mac workaround. So Mac people, you need to learn those Mac workarounds for the exam, okay? Once the apply is complete, I can move on to the next one. All right, any other questions you might have? Any question you might have about the training? Marcy, I think you had some questions. Whoops, where's Marcy? Yeah, she's gone. She said she had to leave early, but I thought she had a question. Okay, any questions about the training? Nope. All right. So then, someone's trying to come in. Marcy. She dropped out right when I was asking her, but now when she comes in, I get know. She got dropped. So I'm letting her in again. And then she comes in. Okay. All right. So now I've shown you how to go to the syllabus to pick up your assignments, but then the plan C, and this is the part where I really want to show you. I'm going to change back to the course so you can see it better. Marcy, I know you just joined us. Oh, she's having a problem with her. There it is, Marcy. I lost you in the, she's not, there you are. I was just asking you about the training and then you had just dropped out. Can you change your sound? Unmute yourself to speak.
Yes, the training was good. I liked it. I did it twice. I'm going to go do it again before I do the test so that I'm positive. There was one thing, I can't remember what it was. It was something about clicking the little silver line in the very corner of the screen to make something happen. I had to Google it to figure it out. I couldn't see what they were doing. So, but other than that, it was really good.
Was it to expand the start?
It was something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was change the desktop or to put 2 or 3 desktops on there.
Yeah, I think it was that. So I had to Google that to find that tiny little silver, but I'm old. And so I enjoyed it. I'm going to do it again though.
Okay, that's great. Okay, wonderful. I thought you might have a particular question about it because I remember I saw you mentioning something and then you dropped out. So good. So I'm glad that you were trying to say that it worked for you. The other way to navigate through what has to happen during the week is if you don't go to syllabus to find exactly the assignment, then you just kind of want to know what needs to happen. Then you need to go to modules. So basically we've gone through home and syllabus and modules. And in modules, you'll have to scroll down to the week. And so I put at the top of every module the Zoom link, so you can ignore that until the time, but it's available because want everyone to not. I find that people a week later tend to forget where was the link. And I'm not going to keep emailing it to you every Monday. I did today because I wanted again to say, remember that you can come to the meeting, but that you'll find it every Monday. So if you just click on read lecture and you start reading, here's the same thing I emailed you, and this is what you're going to do today, and this is that, and then this is where I said you have to save on the S drive, and so I gave you that. So basically it's a condensed version of what I'm telling you. These are the 2 videos that take you to LinkedIn Learning. Remember that Vera said, which one are they? It's these, if you want to learn and see how to back up files. But I also had some in the first week's stuff to learn about Windows 10. So when you read all the way to the bottom, then you click next, and then it takes you to complete week assignment 2. So you don't have to keep going to the module, right? And then it tells you what's due for this week. And it tells you Windows 10, computer concepts, computer training, exam, and submit SAM Word getting project. It says that, but remember that if it's due, it means it's due by the end of next Tuesday. Okay, so you have all week to do all of these. And so then it talks about what I already told you, Windows 10, and then it tells you how to prepare for the computer concepts exam, which is basically the computer concepts training, and then the computer context practice exam, okay? And it tells you it's gonna be 33 questions this time and what it is, and okay? But then the last one is the Getting Started with SAM projects, which if we go to next, it'll take me first to the computer concepts training, and then do the computer concept passive exam. So this is kind of makes you as if you're flipping pages one after the other each time you click on next. And then you get to the page where it talks about read and complete Getting Started with SAM projects. And there's 4 videos to show you the steps. So now I'm going to go through these steps without watching the videos. But if you need to remember or get a refresher, these are the videos that tell you the steps to complete this assignment that is due next week. Now, if we don't get to it today, we'll see how far. I'm going to give us a break and then I'm going to start again. I plan to do this, the steps for this today in class. Okay, I'm going to do this today in class, and I'm going to do just a quick little demo of copying the comp folders to get your with 2 folders and how to access the S-Drive from VDI. So that's the 3 things that I'm going to do when we get back from break. Okay, we're gonna figure out how to make sure that Windows works for you, get the access, the S-Drive and all of that in VDI. How to, with only setting up 3 folders, make, those 45 folders appear really quickly. Renaming and copying and pasting and doing it with shortcuts. And then we're gonna tackle this Getting Started with SAM project. All right. So any questions before I give us a break? I always say, man, you have so few questions, I must be the best teacher in the world. And I'm gonna, after that, one more thing, work with Alton, Michelle, and Xochitl to figure out what's up with your assignments and see how I have to reset it up, okay? So that's the other thing I'll do, but it'll only apply to you 3. And during the time I'm doing that, Katie's also available to help everyone in a breakout room if you're stuck with a question that you were trying to get to or stuff like that. Okay, so if you don't need any of what I'm telling you I'm doing after break, you're welcome to not come back from break, okay? So the 3 of you who I need to do the assignment, you're great. If you have any questions about and you want to learn how to be efficient with a comp folder, stay. If you want to know how to do this Getting Started with the SAM project, go ahead and stay. Come back in 15 minutes. So it's 7:23, 33. Always have to count that way. So at 7, let's say 35.
48.
So we'll do a little bit less, 35. Okay, 38, let's be exact. At 7:38, we will start again. You don't need to disconnect, just turn your sounds. I can turn everyone's sound off or turn your video off if you want, and then we'll join you again at 7:38. Okay? Have a good break. Cool. How's everyone doing?
Okay.
So, the break, I spent the whole time trying to figure out the exam access, but I'm not sure I got it handled, but I'm testing something out and maybe you guys can. Let me just put this in here and see if that's gonna work. I doubt it, but anyway.
That screen before we took a break to see all the videos.
What's that?
How did you get to that screen where it showed all the videos?
Okay.
Before we went to break?
So you either, if you go to module 3, it's the read and complete Getting Started with SAM. Let me just share my screen. Hold on.
Oh, I see that complete. I see that.
Well, I'm gonna show it for everyone anyway, so hold on. I'm in Chrome. I just need to make sure that I get you the right window. Here we go. Okay, so are we? Okay, so you're saying this one. So it's called Reading Complete Getting Started with SAM Project. So Vera wanted to know how to get to it. And I got to it because I kept going next, next, next from the third week. Or you go to modules. Okay, so what I clicked here is modules. And you go to week 3, right? And basically I started there and I clicked next. I went to that one, next to that one, next to that one, next to that one, and that's it. Or you just come here and you go straight to Read and Complete Getting Started with SAM Projects. And then once you learn what to do it, then that there is the actual assignment itself. So you open this up and it tells you how to do it. And then when you finish reading these, you click next and there you go. That's the assignment that you click and start working it. Okay. So I'm actually gonna take us there. I wanna get a feeling for who's here. I know that Marcy, at least we wanted to work on the comp folders, but I mentioned that I was going to do that, the comp folders, and I was going to show you how to get this assignment started. And I was going to show you Windows as far as how to get, you know, to the S drive and all of that. Is there anything else here, those of you who stayed, that want or need to know? This is your time. This is the lab time when we practice, we do, and we get all your questions in.
I don't know if you have the time, but I wanted to see if we can go over that assignment that we had talked about, the orientation exercise 3.
Yeah, so that's what I just said, that instead of going on a break, I spent my whole break trying to set it up again. And then now when I'm done with what everyone else needs, I'll go and see if I can set you 3 up. And the reason I'm saying that is because although I spent my break doing it, when class time, I want to deal with everyone who did it on time. And then for you 3, I set a whole nother thing up that I want to test and see. You guys refresh and tell me if you see anything new out there. I don't think so, but I tried. Other than that, I'll try one more thing with you guys. But, okay. So here's the thing. It's time for me to show you this. I'm going to need to start doing this because it's a SAM project where I'm going to use Word, and I should write it here actually, that because the videos don't include that, is that this is the first time that people who use VDI are going to need to actually be on VDI. So actually let me go, because this is my student account. Let me go to my actual account. Where's my actual window where I'm working on it? Give me a sec here. And I'm going to add that because people might not be aware. So give me a sec. And I'm going to add, if you are working with VDI, you need to start this project from inside VDI. Go sign in to VDI, come back to this page and get started. Okay, so that's all it takes to do these courses, step by step. I explain it. Okay, so now I am going to come over here on the page that you guys are seeing and do a quick refresh. And so here I added, if you're working with VDI, you need to start this project from inside of VDI, go sign to VDI and come back. So we're gonna do that. We're actually gonna go and do that because I'm doing all of my demos inside of VDI. On the one hand, because I'm using my Mac, I do have my PC here, but I am trying to make it as hard as possible so that I can, for me, first of all, because a lot of you use VDI, but also on the Mac, because I want to come through with all the problems that all my Mac people will have. So that's given me the two, all the possibilities that I can find. I don't have a Chromebook to do it, so I'll try to see what would be going with a Chromebook. Okay, so I'm gonna open a new tab and I'm going to go to bmview.sbcc.edu. Okay, so it's the entire address before I press enter. And then I'm going to enter the VMware. And I'm going to sign in again as a student. I'm using my son's account. I'm always showing you as if I were him. Because I see different things as a teacher, and I've noticed that as long as I can use this account, this works. Click on student desktop, and I will be in Windows in a second. If you guys are working on anything in particular on your own that you need help with, Katie is hanging out there also and is able to give you a personal hand. So if right now we start doing this and you end up needing a hand, remember that I can open you up as into a room just with her. I foresee more of that when we start working on the bigger assignments, but just letting you know it's there. If you start going through the computer concepts videos and there's things you don't understand well, that's a good time to also go into those Zoom environments. And because the computer concepts isn't so much a doing as explaining you things about computers and why a laptop and a desktop are different, or things like that, or malware and viruses and stuff. And if there's concepts that you don't get, you can also go into the tutors and ask them for support with that. Okay, so in this course we don't sign in to Google Drive file stream. And something I should have done during break that instead I did the exam, the orientation exam, but let me put in that I'm going to add the LinkedIn Learning video. I'm going to write this down because otherwise I'm going to forget. To the downloads page. Okay, I just need to remind myself to do that. Okay, so now I have to sign in again to Canvas to be able to do the assignment. But first I wanted to show you, and this is the part that's crucial. You've been learning in the trainings that in order to access your File Explorer, what you need to do is you need to go down here and look for the little File Explorer icon, right? Well, guess what? Do you see a File Explorer icon down here? Because I certainly don't. Yeah, it's not there. And when I accessed this the other day as a teacher, for the first time ever, I had it. But in the past, I didn't have it either. And I don't know why now as a teacher I have it, but as a student, I don't. I would have assumed that if as a teacher we can have it, students could have it too. So there's.
I have it as a student.
What's that?
I have it as a student. I'm looking.
You have it as a student. Does anyone else have it or not have it? I can't hear you, Marcy. You need to unmute yourself. Marcy.
I'm here.
But I can't hear you.
I'm looking for it. I don't see it.
Yeah. So some of you have it, some of you don't. And I do not know why. Like Vera the other day said she didn't have it. I don't have it. You say you have it. I have no idea. That is not something I can understand why. So
I had it last Tuesday and now I don't have it.
Yeah, like last week when I demoed it was there, now it's not there. I do not know. It is beyond my capability as to why VDI sometimes is showing it, sometimes it's not. But if you're here ready to do your work and open up your file and you're like, aha, where's my File Explorer, right? Where's that Conf1, set of folders that I made? So here's plan B. You go over to the start window. You click on that there, and this little dog-eared thing that says Documents, click on that, and now you're in the File Explorer. And in the video where I linked how to get to VDI and all of that, in that sample, I gave the example of not having the File Explorer in order to do this. And so I explained this in the video that I recorded. In the little video that says how to get to VDI in your S drive, I did it as if you did not have the File Explorer. So I showed you this. So in case you forget, go to that video. But here we are. We are in, this is the File Explorer, but when you look down here, it just says Documents. It doesn't have the little icon of the File Explorer, okay? But it is basically your File Explorer. And the important thing is that as a student, when you click on this PC, you should see here the S drive. I am not a student, and this student that I'm using is not really a student in our class. So he doesn't have the S folder. So I don't have an S folder to demo for you. But I can, I just want to make sure that you guys now have checked it. Have you gone in there, Alton? Do you have it? You checked for your S drive? You were okay with an S drive?
I have the S drive. I checked yesterday.
You got it, yeah. Because I put your guys' names in and requested it, but I didn't know. I think I notified those of you who I know got it. Okay, so then you go into your S drive. Now, thing about this system here is that it's fine. Say that, for example, that this thing called lab files is the S drive, right? Let's assume that this lab files is the S drive. So I'm going to go into lab files. You guys, do you even have lab files available? No, right?
No, I see lab files.
You do have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm checking under mine and I don't have the S drive or lab files, and I did have it earlier this week.
Oh, wow. That's not good. You had it and you don't have it now. Okay. Let me send a quick email to the person who handles that. Because otherwise, see, this is the kind of stuff we do in lab time. So let me go to Sarah. Not this Sarah, another Sarah. Meaning, I don't know if Sarah's still here, not the class Sarah. So Belém. Student had it and now it's missing. And so Belém, what's your Villanueva? What's your
Villanueva Peralta.
Villanueva Peralta. Belém Villanueva Peralta had an S drive last week and now it's gone. Can you please check? She's a Comp 101 student.
Hey, Diana?
Yep.
Has the, or I don't know which student, I just walked back in, but has she tried getting off of the VMware, or like logging out, closing that web browser, and then opening it back up and starting the VMware again? Because
No.
they're actually having trouble with it not mapping when you log in the first time around.
Oh.
So you log out and log back in, kind of like restarting the system, and it might work to get if you have it before, if you used to have it. But
so see, you guys, why the tutors are awesome, because they are there helping students in person, all days of the week, and they're running into these problems that I haven't run into yet. So many times for these kind of things, they know more than me, all right? So that's why you need to remember that this is very useful. It's anyway, so Belém, could you go ahead and sign out and sign in and tell me before I was about to press send. I won't press send until you tell me.
Okay, I'll try it right now.
Okay.
yeah, we were having that trouble with a geology major student.
Mhm.
So it was the same idea, it was a math student. Geology student was trying to use.
Because only certain classes, certain students of certain classes get the S drive. It's not like everyone's getting it. So they need to map it. And anyway, long story, it's an IT. And every time one of you guys says you don't have it, I send it to Sarah and say, we need one. But
It's still not there.
You tried and signed out and signed in and it's still not there?
Yeah, it's still not there.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Send it away then.
I'll add signed in.
Oh yeah.
and
Tried to sign in and out again.
and then again in, since Katie said this might be a workaround. And it's still not there. Now, my huge concern with what I'm hearing is that if they don't fix it before we actually start working on assignments, then saving them on the S drive is not safe, right?
Well, yeah, another workaround we were having for that would be to save to your Google Drive.
Google Drive, yeah. But I don't want to go there until I...
Well, yeah, well, it's the same saving to your Google Drive inside the virtual setup as it is outside of it.
Then I have to make people connect to the Google Drive file stream. which is fine. But all my videos for non-credit, I had them saved to the Google File Drive. But the comp, based on last week that you said, oh, no, not for comp. I said, oh, okay, so I have not made anyone sign in. So I would have to redo those videos and retrain people to sign into the Google Drive stream and save it in there. So you have to download and save it in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is fine, but I haven't set it up for that. So if, well, guys,
It should be there.
Work on it this week. And if by next week I find that the S drive is still a wobbly situation, then I'll teach you guys where else you can save it in.
Well, it's only one person out of everyone else that's got the S drive, so it's.
Yeah, but it occurs to me that if it happened now, what if she's in the middle of her whole textbook project and it disappears again? We won't want that to happen. So
yeah, that would not be fun.
That would not be fun. So we have a whole 2 week, a week and a half, a week. We really need to start working on a textbook project. So I'll look into that. Okay, Belém? But I already sent her the email to see if she knows. Okay. So basically this is what I wanted to show you, that when you click on this PC, you get all of this big kind of ways to then icons that then you click on what you want and you double click to get in there, and that's fine, but I don't actually like doing it that way as much. I'm going to show you a plan B that I think is actually more useful, which is, see this tiny little icon that's next to the words "this PC"? If you click on that guy, it opens up, so it's collapse, expands, or collapses, and so it's that little arrow. And I'm going to see if with a little, I'm going to put a tip to my mouse right there. So if you go to this PC and you click on that, it expands and it's showing you the same stuff that's in here. See, it's showing you 3D object desktop documents, which are those. And then at the bottom, it shows you local disk, CD drive, live group, which are these. Now, those of you who have the S drive should also see the S drive down there. I prefer seeing things this way, because then I can click on one of these. So like, for example, I'm going to click into lab files right now. You guys click on your S drive. And then in here, you would see whatever that comp folder that you made, if you already made it and it's still there. So how many of you guys made it here and you still see it? Yeah. I know that just about everyone finished it, but they might have done it in their own places or folders or whoever's here. But Jeremy, you sent it to me. By the way, you sent it written with the word chapters, but it still worked because probably one of the examples still said chapters. In the past, the comp, instead of being called modules, were called chapters. But
I've gone back and fixed that.
yeah, only because it can get confusing when we tell you put it in module 2, and you have to go find chapter 2 as long as you don't know. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and recreate this whole new folders thing. And if you don't know how to create a new folder, there's like so many different ways of creating folders. But one of the best ways is usually using your right click, and that's a quick way. And if I click on right, then I can just go down there to new folder. And it's kind of a bit of you can click all the way to the new and all the way up to folder. But that's one way to do it. I'm going to leave that way. I'm not going to click on that. That's why it's not creating. There's always a good little shortcut right here. It's their little icon that looks like a little folder. You just click on that. You get a new folder, okay? And then there's the actual shortcuts that have to do with keyboard shortcuts. So look at when I hover over this thing, right next to new folder. See how next to the words new folder, there's something in between parentheses? What's that parentheses say? Can you tell? Is it too tiny?
Control-Shift-N.
Control-Shift-N. So the more shortcuts you're able to process and learn, the much more efficient you're going to be. And you don't need to learn a ton at a time, right? But try to always check and use it. And then once you use it, because each time you have to learn it and use it, or maybe you're the kind that has a note card next to your computer and you write the important ones, you begin to be so much faster. If every time you have to copy and paste, you have to go up to edit, copy, up to edit, paste, or just do Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C, Command-V, you become someone who's really much more hireable, worthwhile, and use your time correctly. So how you remember and how you learn them is by hovering over the thing and reading Control Shift N. Okay, that's what it takes. Control Shift N. So then try it out. Hold down the Control, hold down the Shift, and then click N. Now, I don't have access to this just because it's not a folder that's accessible. But in your, so I'm going to go ahead and do these things in my Documents folder. But you have your S drive there, and I'm wondering if I could have an S drive set up for me to demonstrate these things, because it would be easier. Write that down and see if I'm not a student, but can an S drive be mapped to me? So that I can demo the S drive. But so I'm going to click on Documents, but this is going to be gone. You guys understand that next week when I open this up, this is going to be gone for me because I'm setting it up in this in the Documents folder, which isn't right. But anyway, so
when I did Control Shift N, it gave me you've gone to incognito.
Control Shift N.
Isn't
Oh, you know what's happening? Control Shift N. If you're in Chrome, what are you, in Chrome or in Firefox?
Chrome.
You're in Chrome, and what's competing is that Chrome probably has that as a shortcut to create an incognito folder. I'm in Firefox right now, and that's obviously not it. But in Chrome, I don't know, but let me test. If I'm going to go here to Chrome, and if I do Control Shift. Oh, it's not doing that for me in Chrome. Let me see what a new incognito page. Incognito is Control Command N. Are you on a Mac? You're on a PC.
I'm on a PC. It's Command.
For a PC, it's Command. The PC for the Mac, sorry, the PC doesn't have a command.
But it's Control.
It's your Control. That's a Control Shift N. So yeah, that's why you're getting that instead. So then, in this case, leave the shortcuts for inside of the apps. That's interesting. So if you're in Firefox, the Control Shift N worked as a new folder because I just created that one. But I guess since in the end your VDI environment is really a Google Chrome browser, it just opened you another one. So anyway, so then use the right click instead in your case. So I've created a new folder, and I'm going to just go ahead and say comp 101. And if you only have this comp class, maybe you just call it comp, but comp 101. And then I saved that name by hitting the return key. Now I'm going to do that again. But first I have to get rid of this one. I can't create two comp 101 folders at that same level, right? So again, to show you the kind of stuff that you're learning in all the trainings, I'm going to get rid of it first. So I'm going to get rid of it by going right click and delete. So I'm deleting that folder, it's gone. And this time, instead of using shortcuts, I'm gonna go right click, new folder. And see, when the folder first pops up, it's got all that like highlighted text, and I don't need to delete any of that. I don't need to get in there and click around. All I need to do, if something is highlighted, know that the moment I click on any other key, that highlighted stuff is gonna disappear. So if all I just do is start writing comp, see how everything disappeared? And I write comp, and then I'll write 101, and then my cursor is still in there, so the name isn't fixed yet. In order to get that to seal, I need to either hit return or enter on a Mac or on a PC. That key, hit return or enter, or plan B, I can put my mouse here in this like neutral area and click, and that also works to seal the name in, okay? Now, I created my comp 101, so I need to get inside of that. Now, the reason when I just click on comp 101 and double click to get inside, then the only way to know where I'm in, and this is the part that I don't like about Windows that I like about Macs a bit more, the only way to know what inside of what I'm in is to follow this with, path, kind of a breadcrumb trail, they also call it, where comp 101 is inside of Documents, which is inside of this PC. Or, and that's why I like this feature, is that over here, and I have it in Documents, but you should have it in the S drive, I click on this little arrow to expand my documents, and there's my comp 101. And I can click in here again, and then I know that I'm inside of Comp 101. If I click on the word documents, I'm inside of the documents folder, which holds the downloads and the Comp 101. But if I click into Comp 101, then I'm inside of the Comp 101. So just giving you clues as to the different places where you see this working. You can see it up here, you can see it in there, or you can be the kind of person who likes to just click on this PC and double clicks documents, or S drive in your case, and then double clicks Comp 101 and goes in there. I find that the most restrictive way to see things, but that is the way a lot of people are accustomed to doing, just kind of do double click, do double click. But it gives you less flexibility to handle file management. And since I'm trying to teach you efficient file management, I think that using this system here becomes much more efficient when you're trying to copy, paste, and move things around. So I recommend getting accustomed to using these little arrows that expand and collapse the folder. And so inside of documents, you have comp. Now there's nothing inside of comp yet, so there's no arrow here. The moment I put stuff inside of comp, there's going to be an arrow here to expand comp. So I'm in Comp 101, and here I'm going to create that first one. I'm going to go ahead and do create new, and I'm going to write Word. And there's my first folder, right? And so Word is inside of Comp 101. If I double click Word, then Word is inside of Comp 101, which is inside of Documents. You should have the S and this PC. And if I now go over here to the left, again, suddenly you have a little arrow next to Comp 101 that wasn't there before, and I expanded, and there it is. Word is inside of Comp 101, which is inside of Documents. Okay, I'm going to expand this. So if I want to see this more, you put your mouse in the middle of these lines, and you can make it smaller, which becomes impossible to read, or you wait until you get the double-headed arrow, expand it a bit more, and then this becomes part of something you can see. So now I can collapse the whole folder or open it up, and I can begin to see visually that this is inside of that this is inside of that all of that is inside of this PC, okay? So I'm inside of Word right now, and in here I'm going to create two folders. What kind of folders do I need to create in here?
The modules.
The two modules. So first I'm going to go for module 1, and I hit the return. And then this next module that I need to create has to be identical. But before creating module 2, I'm going to go further into module 1, because in module 1, I'm going to make my SAM and my textbook projects. And instead of then having to make another module 2 with another SAM and textbook project, I'm just going to go ahead and inside of module 1, make SAM and textbook projects. And then I'll just copy module 1 and turn it into module 2. And that way I'm becoming more efficient. Does that make sense? So I'm going to dig into module 1, double click into module 1. So now I'm inside of module 1, that's inside of Word, inside of Comp 1. And here I'm going to make another folder, and I'm going to make this one be SAM projects. And at the same level, I'm going to make another new, and I like shortcuts better, but I'm doing this because I know it's not working for me. And this one's going to be textbook project. Okay. Now, these two both sit in module 1. Now, many times when you're making folders, it's not as simple as that. You type it in, you get the names wrong, things happen. So say that I wanted to add something to SAM projects, 1A, 1B, or if I had a typo, you can just right click on it and rename. So when I click rename, the name comes live again, and then maybe here I can put 1A and 1B. You don't need to go that far, but those are the two projects. So you're going to be having 1 textbook and 2 SAM. Or you can make 3 folders, 1 for textbook, 1 for SAM A, 1 for SAM B. Depends on how detailed you want to get. But now that these are done, I need 2 of them in Word, right? So I can use either my left side to navigate, or I can go back in here to navigate. So both are live. So one way to navigate back to documents would be to click on this documents and back in documents. Then I have to go back into Comp 101 and back into Word and back into module 1 to get in here. Or I can just go over here and I can open up Word, open up module 1. As you can see, I can see the entire layout of my folder here. I love the way to see it this way, because then I can go, well, I just want to go back into Word, or I want to go into Text Project, or I want to go to Comp 101, and I'm seeing what I'm in. So anyway, I'm going to go back to Word where I see Module 1, and now I'm just going to copy Module 1 and paste and change the name to Module 2. But that alone is going to give me 3 new folders. So I'm going to go back to Word where I see Module 1. I'm going to right click on Module 1, copy, or who knows the shortcut for copying something?
Control C.
Control C.
Yeah, once you learn some of these shortcuts, they are universal. So you're learning it here, but you can use it anywhere. So copy, you should never use either right clicks, or you should never go up here to copy. You should always click on something you want to copy and do. On a PC, Control C. On a Mac, Command C. But if you're in VDI, you're not on a Mac. You're really on a PC. So you need to do Control C. And then who remembers the copy for paste? The shortcut for paste.
Control V.
Control V.
Control V. And that's the only one that's kind of weird, because usually C for copy, but V for paste is kind of weird. But V, Control V for not B like boy, but V like vase. So there we go. I pasted, copy pasted. And right now, since 2 files cannot be at the same level with the same name, what the Windows did is it added a little dash copy to my name. So I'm over here and I have Module 1. I have Word Module 1 and Module 1 copy. And if I look into Module 1 copy in Module 1, I already have all those that I didn't have to recreate again with all those names. I just have my Module 1, my Module 1 copy. All I need to do is rename this one. So I'll right click and rename. And this one, I'm going to just get rid of that and give it a 2. So now I've got my setup for Module 1, Module 2, all from inside of Word. And the problem I have with this system is that you still don't really know what's inside of what. Like all you see is Comp 101 and Word, but you don't really see what's inside of there. But if you look here to the left, this is awesome because I can see that I have Word. Comp 101 has Word inside. And then inside of Word, I see that I have another folder, Module 1, that has these 2 and Module 2. So if I kind of use these little windows to open and close and collapse, I can really easily see the entire structure of my setup here to the left, whereas here I'm always blinded to the rest. I'm in one or in the other, but I don't see the entire structure. So this is much better for file management to really understand where you're at. So now it's going to be so simple. All I need to do is click on my Word folder, right? So I have to go back to the folder that contains it, which is Comp 101. Click on Word, copy, Control copy, and paste, and paste, and paste, because I need Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Access, right? But inside of them, they're ready to go. Inside of them, they all say Module 1, Module 2, and inside of each Module 1, Module 2, I already have all of their textbook projects. So even though they have the wrong names, I already have all of these folders set up just with that quick little set of pasting that I did there. See, look at everything that I created just with one little copy paste with all of their textbooks and SAMs and all of that nice fun stuff. All I need to do now is rename them. And another way to rename them, if you don't like to right click, is you just kind of click and hold and click again. And when you do that second click, it's not a double click, okay? It's one to select it, you hesitate, not a quick double click, but then you click one more time on the name and it comes live. So instead of right click, rename, you just click and click. It's like click, hesitate, click, not double click. It comes live, and then this one will be Excel. And then I go back to this one, click, hold, click one more time, and I write PowerPoint. Ah, I was doing it all in uppercase. I should have as well leave it in PowerPoint, all in uppercase. Can you hold on there? And then the last one, click, click again, or right click, rename, and access. Access. I keep pressing the uppercase, but since I put the caps lock, I don't need it. So the only one that needs to be modified is that the access one has an extra module. And so I can go up there, or I can go over here, and I can find, I'm going to close my modules again because that does get kind of confusing, and access. And by the way, access went up because they end up in alphabetical order. So I go into access and I discover I have module 1, module 2. I can just select this one and delete, which is that thing that we did in the training. How do you delete something? You can just hit the delete key, right, in your keyboard. But if you're on a PC, you can't, on a Mac, you can't do that. So you need to right click and delete it. If you're a PC, you could have hit the delete key. And there you go, you've got only module 1 for access, but that module 1 also has the SAM projects 1 and 2. And so in like, I took a lot of time even because I explained it, but in a total of 20 seconds, I've created, like, hadn't I been showing and explaining in 20 seconds, I created a very comfortable, deep structure for all of my projects. And so it's really good when you know the project you're going to be working to create the structure first and then fill it in with what you need. I work as a designer and I have these really complicated projects or websites and stuff. And the first thing you do is you lay out the entire structure of what's going to go there. And then you can't lose anything because when you know what this is, oh, this is a photo. Well, it goes into the sources, into the raw, and then everything becomes really easy to find versus, I don't know, everything's hanging out on my desktop or I don't know, it's somewhere in my downloads folder, right? The downloads folder was still something you could use on if it's your own computer. You download something from the online and it lives in that place. You click in there, you'll find it at some point someday. But it doesn't work as an efficient method, nor does the desktop where it gets cluttered. But in the world of VDI, you cannot because it'll disappear from all those places. So you really need to get organized. At the very least, you need to be able to throw it into your S drive. But if instead of just throwing it into your S drive, have all the files that we're going to be downloading mixing with each other, you put all the files we download in the actual SAM project 1A of access, then you'll never lose the files. You'll never find, you know, the old one or the new one or that kind of stuff. So now, I know that I did that kind of as an explanation, but I went a little bit fast because I know that a lot of you have done the trainings and you kind of know your way around this. But I'm very happy to help you do this a little bit more one-on-one to help you figure out how to do the copies and the pastes. But it's 8:15, and I want to show first how to get that SAM project. Now, I will be showing this again next week. I'm going to let everyone know that next week we'll be debuting our Fierce SAM project, but a lot of you guys want to work on it this week, and I just want to give you a first quick run through of what it takes to get an assignment, okay, down, because now that we have our setup here, where we have your Comp 101, Access, PowerPoint, and Word, what we're about to download isn't any of these projects. It's actually just a sample Word project. So we're just going to drop it in the general Word folder. But for that, I need to move this out of the way and open my SAM project assignment. So I'm going to not get rid of this. If I close it, I'll have to go back in here to documents to find it. But I'll just minimize it. So remember, if you've been doing the trainings, I'm just going to minimize it. Hit this little click right there, and it's going to go down into my taskbar, waiting for me to just pull it up again by clicking on it. So I don't have to go find it everywhere. Just minimize it so it's handy and just waiting for you right there for when I need it again. All right. Before I continue with SAM and so on and so forth, any questions about this little bit? Any questions about copying and pasting the folder, creating the structure, renaming? So Chochil, I see your hand is up. I don't know it's from before it's up, or if you have a question right now. Okay, so listen. I'm listening.
It's from before.
Oh, it's from before. Okay, then click on your hand. Click on your hand again and it'll go down. Like it's lower. I think I'm repeating myself again. It's the same thing. You hear me saying everything twice?
You hear me saying everything twice?
I am.
Yes.
I am.
So, Xochitl, have you even answered? I thought it was me and you answered, but I think it's me.
I thought it was me and you answered, but I think it's me.
No, it was me.
Oh,
Oh,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm gonna be quiet because I keep getting
I can hear
repeated.
you. I'm gonna
So
be quiet.
you tell me what your question is.
Repeated at no one. So you tell me what your question is.
I don't have a question. I'm doing okay, but did something happen with my whole computer here? So
You mean the fact that we can't see you? Did something happen to
The
your?
fact that we can't see you, did something happen to your?
yeah, but I think I got my my speaker up again, but just the camera I cannot get that. But I can hear you fine.
As long as you can hear me, that's fine. I don't need to see you. I lowered your
You can
volume
hear
for
me,
you.
that's fine. I don't need to see you.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Marcy, were you able to follow through and do some of your
Marcy,
folders?
were you able to follow through and do some of your folders?
Yes, yes, sorry, I have difficulty with my computer too, yes.
Yeah, sorry, I have difficulty with my computer too.
The shortcuts, it's gonna be super
The
helpful.
shortcut is gonna be super helpful.
Now everyone is getting double sound.
Now everyone is getting double sound.
I have never had this happen, and it happened only with Jeremy before.
I've
Now
never
it's
had
happening.
this happen, and it happened only with Jeremy before. Now it's happening.
Yikes.
It looks like Sochu's mic was on as well. We had two mics. I don't know if that changes things.
Let's see, because now that her sound is off, I'm not being repeated. But yeah, so it happened. What was happening earlier with Jeremy is happening now with Shoju. That when their sound is on, I get a complete doubling up of my voice. Of all of the hours of Zoom I've taught, this has not happened to me before. I only get the reverb when there's two sounds on, but this isn't reverb. This is an actual repetition of everything. I don't know what this one's all about. I have a recording. I'll take a little clip of this and I'll try to get tech support to tell me what that might be, because I don't know how to solve that one. Yes, Alton?
I was just gonna say it could be maybe because their sound might be too high, but I'm not really sure. But sometimes when the sound's kind of high, it can cause an echo.
Could be. Good point.
Oh yeah, because you don't have your mic, or I was wondering if because I have my headset and mic, but you don't have that. You're just going from your computer and everything.
But you mean that my sound is up too high? It's only
no.
happening because Xochitl or Jeremy are doing it.
It's only happening because Xochitl or Jeremy.
I lowered mine already.
Well, we shall see. I'll take this up with the tech support people. Meanwhile, I just wanted to say that Vera was asking, and Katie's answer, but it's a question for anyone, that once you complete the training, right? If you've done it, once you've done the applies correctly, it'll have a little check mark saying you've done it correctly, but you can keep doing it. It doesn't matter. It's just the first time you get to the correct apply, then you get a little yay green mark, like got this one. But you can still click on the task and do it again and again until you master it, right? It's not like you can't go to it again. You did it once, right? And it's not available to you. No, it's
no, that's not my question. My question is I did it all and I applied it and it said submit. So I submitted it. Then I came back around to just do it again. And then when I clicked start and I decided, oh, I don't want to do it, then it came back 0% completed.
Oh, well, as I said, and you asked me about this, the training grade doesn't matter at all. The trainings, lets you do it. The trainings are set to be done as many times as you want. You don't have a limit to how many times you can do them. So every time you do them, it'll tell you what you did or didn't complete and what. No, but it doesn't reflect in your grades. It is 0. None of that matters. All that matters is that you learn how to do it. So it doesn't matter if it says that it's 0% or 100% or 10%, it really won't make any difference.
Okay, so it doesn't, I shouldn't just disregard it in grades?
Disregard it. In grades, it's gonna say always 0. Oh, I was gonna take people into grades right now. So what does, so yours is saying 0% completed, and that was your
Exactly,
concern?
exactly.
Because it's always worth 0. I've made it be always worth 0. So no matter how much you've got done, it's not about what it's worth. It's up to you to see when you do it, whether all your check marks are completed, if you've learned all the steps and if you've done it enough. But no matter that you do it again and you do it 10 times, it'll always say 0.0% completed, because I'm not registering that in the grades. And the grade 0 doesn't mean it's lowering your grade. It means it's a grade that's not being taken into account. It's not like you have to balance out a 0 with a, you know, with a 10 to suddenly you're a half good student because it balances out. No, that 0 is invalid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's worth 0 points. So no matter how well you do it, none of those points count towards the end.
Okay.
It's just, I was torn. I didn't have it as an assignment, and in the other comp courses, they don't have it as an assignment, but then it's not, it doesn't show up in your to-dos in the syllabus. And I know that a lot of people who are doing this online aren't sitting and reading, they're just going through just doing what needs to be done. And then they would skip the training and they go, oh, the exam, click on the exam. And then, well, what did you do the training? Well, I didn't see it. And I was like, oh. So just by doing it this way and putting it 0 points, it shows up as an assignment to be done. So it's a workaround.
Okay.
We're trying to make sure that students don't miss stuff. It's all I'm trying to do. That it's not worth anything other than to you for learning purposes.
Thank you.
Okay. And you can keep doing them as many times as you want. All right. It's 8:30. I am going to now open actual, oh, shoot. When I talk to you guys like this, I try to stop sharing, and I notice that I've been talking all this time with you guys having a blank window screen staring at me. So again, I'm always not seeing exactly what you're seeing. So if you see that I'm just chatting, just remind me you're sharing your screen or something like that. I appreciate telling me you're not sharing your screen or you are sharing your screen when I shouldn't. I really appreciate those reminders because I'm not always in front of what it is that I am seeing. I'm watching you guys speak, but I have to hide the screen that I'm sharing because I'd rather see you guys than see what I'm sharing because I can see my own screen. Okay, so since I'm still sharing the screen, I'm gonna double click on Google Chrome to open up inside of VMView, inside of VDI. I'm gonna access our Canvas course, okay? So I'm gonna go in and do svcc.edu. For those of you who rather go straight to, you can write pipeline.svcc.edu. I find that for some people that gets them into typo problems. And then click on pipeline. Now I'm gonna go into Canvas. And then into Comp 101. But I remember that I'm doing this inside of my VMware. So this is my virtual pipeline account inside of my virtual computer, as if I'm sitting in front of this computer. And now I'm going to go to my assignment. And so if I click on syllabus, because I know what I'm trying to do, and I head down to the bottom of syllabus, this down here will show me the assignment that I'm going to do for the first time ever, which is the Submit SAM Word project. Okay, I'm going to need the Word program, which is why I'm doing it inside of VDI. So I'm going to click on it, and this is going to show us how we're going to get into SAM to do a project. First of all, I have to click on this again, and since I'm not signed in yet with my account, like I haven't paid yet, I'm going to have to tell them to please set up the trial system still. So until you pay your dues or type in that code that you paid for, each time you will be told that you need to use the trial system. So scroll down and hit continue. And then scroll down and say start free trial. Okay, so that's me paying my dues for not having paid yet. And now I've been given access to the assignment. So it's telling me that I have 6 submissions worth. I can do this one 6 times. This is just a practice assignment. It's just sitting there ready to start it, right? So I'm going to click on start. And here's the thing. I am being told, first of all, download the instructions in the start file and also download the support files. Complete the project, click continue. All right, so this sentence is kind of weird because what do you mean complete the project, continue? You mean I need to go click and then come in, and yes, that's basically it. When you're done, completed the project, you're gonna have to come back to the same place, and at that point you're gonna click continue to go upload it, right? So this is kind of like a lot of time goes by between this period and this period. All the time that you work on the project goes by in between those 2 sentences. Does that make sense? It's a weird phrasing of it. But basically what it's telling you when you get in here is download this and download this, okay? This is an instruction file. You don't have the SAM projects, but we have textbook projects, which you will follow step by step your book. And we have SAM projects, where you will download instructions from SAM, read those instructions, and complete your project. So that's the instruction file. So I'm going to click on this, and it downloads. There it is. And then I need a start file. And again, this is in the name of my son because I'm using his account, but you will notice that your name will be here. This is why you cannot, it's not just a file name. There's other stuff embedded in this document that proves that this is your file. That's why you can't submit someone else's file, because SAM internally has put on markers, because you cannot start any assignment from a blank document. And I said it again and again, but when you read in the book, open a blank page to start your assignments. That's the place where you, again, need to stop and be very careful. You do not open a single blank document in any of the assignments due for the entire course of Comp 101. You always start your assignments from the start file. So I'm going to click on this, and down comes the start file. So now I've downloaded 2 things, okay? Where does anything that you download end up in your computer? Or where should it end up? Or where does it probably end up if everything is set up correctly? I need the Choir of
In
Angels.
the S drive.
Nope, not in the S drive. Try again. When you download something from the internet, it shows up in the
Downloads folder.
Taskbar.
Downloads folder. Okay.
Or
So,
on the taskbar.
or the what?
Or on the taskbar. It shows the file right down there, and you can access it right there on the, you know.
No, this is not the taskbar. This is the, you mean this? That what I'm pointing to?
Yeah, when you download, let's say a setup, it puts
Yeah.
it in downloads, but it also puts it on a taskbar so you can just click on it.
No, this is the taskbar, and no, assignments do not go to the taskbar. So that's why I was trying to make sure that what you're saying. This is the only thing called the taskbar on a PC. And no, assigned downloads do not go to the taskbar. Now, if you're a Mac person, there is an icon on the dock that's your downloads folder. So as a Mac person, I know what you're talking about, because if you go to that folder, that's like a link to your downloads folder, you would find them in the dock. But in the taskbar, which is the equivalent-ish name, it's not exactly the same thing, but on a PC, you don't find it anywhere on the taskbar, okay? Now, where you do, if you have Chrome, which in VDI we have Chrome, then it does show up down here in the bottom little part of the Chrome window, but that isn't a taskbar. That's just it showing you where it went. But that's not where it lands. This is just allowing you to open it from here, but that's not where it is. And if you open it from here, you're still not aware of where that file is in the context of your computer. So I want to clarify where this goes. Anytime you download something from anything online, you download the manual for your new vacuum cleaner. You download the photo of your mother's birthday. Those files always end up in the downloads folder. I'm going to minimize Chrome right now. And in order to get to that downloads folder, I need to use my File Explorer. So my File Explorer version of File Explorer, it was left behind right there, remember? So I open up my File Explorer, and no, it's on my S drive. No, it's not my documents folder. No, it's nowhere. It's in the downloads folder. And yep, that's where those two files are. They went to the downloads folder of my computer. And this is crucial because if I leave them here, when I sign out and sign in tomorrow to keep working, they're gone. So you can't leave them here. You need to move them to your S drive. You need to move them to that place where they're safe for you. So you need to go find them in your downloads folder. You can't work from here. If this were your own computer, people just kind of start working on them from here. And that's really bad habits. But I see lots of people bringing in their laptops to school and they just work on from the downloads folder from whatever, but it's not really the appropriate place. And in the case of VDI, it's also going to go foomp like ashes. So
It's also not a very big folder. You can download a lot to it, but eventually it gets full. And if you're using, this is what we've had before, if you download the Access project and then you work on it in the downloads folder, Access expands when it's open because it's huge. It's one of the bigger projects we have, or not bigger projects, but bigger programs in a whole. But it makes it bigger, so the students worked on the whole day in that file that was saved on the downloads folder. When we tried to save the file again later, it wasn't allowing us to because there was no room left on the downloads folder. We ended up having to delete everything else in the downloads folder and then cross our fingers to see if it would save then.
And sometimes it have lost 4 hours of work. Yeah. So do not work off of the downloads folder, especially in VDI, nor even in the school lab when the school labs are open. If it's your own computer and you work in the downloads folder, you don't have this problem of it being small, but it's just not good practice. And if the whole point is we're trying to train you not to just work for your own little bubble self, but to work with other people. And when you work with other people, when they ask where's your folder, where's your file, you need to be able to say specifically where to reach it in a network, where to put it. You need to know where things go. They can't just go, oh, I'm going to go search inside of your computer, download and hope I find it amongst the 25 other things you've downloaded last month, right? So anyway, this is a temporary place. Downloads folder is barely, it's a landing place from which you go. I don't need this anymore. It goes into the recycling bin. This I need, I put it where I need it, and where I need it is in the S drive. So it's very easy to move these things to the S drive. You can, if you have this set up the way I have it, you can just drag it and put it in the right place. Okay, so I'm going to do that with one of them. I'm going to grab the instructions. I'm just going to drag it, literally drag it. And when I see the word, the word getting highlighted, I let go and it's moved in. Now, a lot of people don't know how to use this, especially I find PC people don't know how to use it. And plan B, you could click on it and you can move it, send it to, and over here you could go find that S drive. I'm going to go to documents and I'm going to send it to documents, which is like little steps. And then I go into documents and I find that it's in documents, and then I still have to move it into Comp 101, and then from Comp 101 I have to move it into Word. As you can see, it's a whole bunch of steps that I find it works, but it's certainly not a very useful way to do it. Or you can cut, copy, paste, and put it in there again and stuff like that. I just prefer dragging it, but all of those ways, all that matters is that by the time I'm done, I get into Word and there it is. I have those two files that used to be in the downloads are now where I need them, which is in my S drive. This is my fake S drive. This is my documents folder, but they're in my S drive. Okay. So now let's see what I need to do. I'm going to open the instructions. And since this is a Word document, you notice I haven't opened the Word program yet. The application isn't open anywhere. But since these are already Word application files, when I double click on one, and I'm going to open the instructions, it's going to kick open Word. So Word is opening for me the easiest way, which is by double clicking on a Word file. And so Word opens up, and what I find here, and I'm going to get rid of this navigation right there to have a bit more space. And what I find is how to do this assignment. Open the SAM file, and when it says first name, last name, it's your name, right? So you'll find Elton Kimber, Marcy Frampton, Vera James. You know, it'll be whatever name you signed in to SAM, to Cengage. Okay, that's the name they have for you. In my case, my file came with my son's name because that's the account I'm using. What you need to do is you need to rename the start file to the same exact name, -2. Now, different files will have different instructions. Different assignments will have different instructions, but it's very important that you name the things exactly to the T of what's requested. Because if you don't call it exactly the right thing, then when you try to, you're done, you spent 4 hours, 2 hours, or 10 hours, depending on the assignment, you're trying to upload it, it just won't recognize it. It'll just not let you submit, and you're desperate because you waited until 11:57 p.m. You did your 5 hours of Access homework, and you go submit it, and it won't take it. And just because there's one letter wrong in that file name. So the file name is crucial, okay? So if it's telling you to save it as a certain name, all it's wanting you is to change the number 1 to the number 2, okay? And then it gives you information, and basically all it asks you to do in this assignment, it's just a test assignment, it just wants you to write the word hello. That's it. And then you're supposed to save and upload it. That's all this assignment is. It's just to learn the process of downloading and stuff like that. That's it. I read the instructions, so I need to go and find that. So I'm going to open, file, open, and where am I going to find it? The start file that I downloaded is the one. I can't open a blank file. I need to open the start file. Where did I leave it? That start file I downloaded is now living where?
The Word folder.
My Word folder, which happens to be in my case in my Comp 101 folder, in my case in my Documents folder, but should be in my S drive. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to find it. So I can browse, and I'm going to go down to my, it happens to be available, but it could have been that many times it isn't. So I'm going to go to my Documents folder, and I can do the same thing. I can do it that way like I did before, or I can do it by double clicking into there. I'm going to go into my Word, and
or
there
you
it
can
is.
click on my PC and it takes you there.
You can also click on my PC, okay? Same as we did before. You can click on cancel. So when I say file open, I could also say this PC. And then if you were just there and the computer can trace that you were just there, then you'll find that in your documents, Word 101, you're there. This can be confusing though, because sometimes this program remembers you being there, but you really want something else. Maybe you're working on your Excel file and it won't be necessarily right there. So with Browse, you can't go wrong. Just depends on where you were before. For in this case, this is the file I need to open, and I need to change its name. So I'm going to double click on it, and I've opened it. Now it doesn't look like anything other than a blank file. Okay, it just looks like a blank file, but it's very important for you to know and trust me that this isn't just a blank file, that this is actually a file that is marked inside by Sam in the document in such a way that if you start with a blank file, it'll say that you haven't submitted the assignment, that it's 0 points. It needs to be this same one. And this same one needs to have 2 things. First of all, I need to change its name. So I'm going to do a file, save as. It's going to say, where do you want to save it? And I'm going to browse again. This way is the fail safe. Yes, I could use this stuff, but this is fail safe. I'm going to put it in the exact same spot, but I'm going to change the file name right there from 1 to 2. That's all I had to change. Okay. And I'm going to say save. Now I'm in the right one. Now I'm in the one that I'm going to submit. And all they asked for was for me to type the word hello. Okay, save. That's it. Oh, not hellos. That's gonna be wrong. Saved, and I can close my document, my whole program. Click from there, click the instructions. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. What do I do with this assignment? I'm done. Here's the assignment. How do I submit that assignment? This is the one that told me what to do. This is the one that they gave me. And this is the one that I completed, the _2. And if you're never sure which one to submit, remember, look at the time. And definitely the one that's from later is the one that I just submit.
Mine did save, but I got a Microsoft Word saying that the file may be read only.
Oh, sometimes when you open it, it does say the file can read it. You need to click on that. I wish I had it so I could show you, but you get like this yellow bar on top, and you have to say, what is edit? There's something you need to click. There's an option.
Enable editing.
What's that?
Enable editing.
Yeah, so click on enable editing, and then you can write your word hello and save it.
Okay.
Again, I don't know what triggers it, but sometimes you see that or not. But as long as you've opened the right file, then you can do a save as, and then you can edit. Oh, I know. You tried to write hello on the _1. And I had already saved it _2. So it's my file, so I was able to edit. But you were trying to write in the original one, the one that came, and it said you need to enable editing. You just want to save as, create the right one, and then start writing in your new one. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did save it as _2, and then I wrote hello.
And then _2, you said hello. So now you can save it and you can close it. And now it's time to submit it. So anyone want to venture to guess how to submit this file?
Copy and paste into the upload folder.
That's a good guess, but no, we're not going to copy and paste. We're going to actually upload this exact file. So yes, the second part, no to the first part. Good try. Anyone else wants to venture to guess?
Attach a file?
Thanks for trying. I appreciate, you're thinking it through. I want you guys to learn to think it through before me giving you the answers. Someone said attach your file. That's a good idea. Why not just submit it by emailing me saying I completed my assignment, attach the file, right? No. This has to be corrected by Sam. And this is very important. We used to have assignments that I would correct, and I still do in my PowerPoint class. But in this class, other than the orientation assignments, I don't correct them. Sam corrects them. So I need to submit them to Sam. How did I get to Sam? How did I get to Sam? How did I get to those instruction documents that I had to download? What took me there? I just throw out ideas. Nothing, I'm not grading you for these ideas. I want you guys to, how did I end up in this place where I said download this file and download this file instructions? How did I get there?
The S drive, drag it into the folder.
No, then you go into modules, then go down to chapter 3 and read or what have you.
Yeah, there is a bit closer. You basically have to go back to your assignment.
And then upload.
The same assignment you clicked to open, which, like she says, it's in module week 3 or whatever, or you can also find it in your syllabus for the day, the due date. Those are the two places you can find it. You go straight back to the assignment.
Yep.
Because that's our portal into SAM. Remember I told you, never go into SAM through like cengage.com and go in. No, your portal into SAM, it's like, you click a button and you're transported. Like if in real life, I could just press a button and boom, I'm at work. Well, here in real life now we do that, right? We just show up to our desk and we're at work. But in real life, we can't do that. But here we can. We're inside of Canvas. We click on the assignment and it takes me into SAM. So I need to go back into Canvas, click on the assignment, right? So let's do that. I'm going to go back into Canvas. And let's assume that this is already closed, that this is the second day, 2 days later. I go back either into the modules or into the syllabus. Once you know what you want, it's easier to just grab it from the syllabus. This is what you're trying to submit, right? So you click on it again, because when you click on this, this takes me to Sam. I go back to Sam. Doo-doo-doo-doo, twirl your fingers, breathe deep 3 times, grab your coffee, warm it up, pick the microwave, because guess what? Since I haven't paid, what's it gonna make me do? It's gonna make me go through the little process again. So I'm gonna go to continue. Now this is over once you pay. Then it goes straight to the assignment. And then down to start free trial. And I have to say start again. I'm in the same assignment. It's weird, but you just gotta get start. Again, you do the same steps, except for this time, look, I'm in step 2. I'm in ready to upload mode. Okay, so if I go back here, this is where I downloaded the stuff. And this whole continue, this is where I upload. So each assignment has 2 steps. Where I download the start files, continue, where I upload the final file. And it's a reminder, this is what the file is supposed to be called, the expected file name. So if perchance you weren't sure what file name to call it, you can always come in here and select this, copy, and then when you go save the file, you paste this name into it to make sure it's the right file. Okay, ready to either upload it by dragging and dropping or just to click it in here. So I'm going to click in here. And again, see how file manager was important? I know exactly where it is, right? Where is my file?
And the S drive, and you have to go all the way to.
Yeah, in this PC S drive, in my case, I'm taking the S drive. I'm putting it in documents, but you would have it in the S drive. So I'm going to documents, Comp 101. And again, I can just keep double clicking in there, or I'm going to keep showing you this option because I like that better. Open up Comp 101, open up Word, and there it is. _2, click on it, open. So you need to find it. It's coming up. And see the check mark, the green check mark? Ready to submit. It's not done. If I leave right now, I have not submitted the file. You can swear to me, but Tiana, I swear, Professor, I did. No, you did not submit it. I will not get it. Sam will not get it if you don't submit. This is not enough. You've uploaded it. You have to submit. Okay, step 1, find the file. Step 2, uploaded. 3, submit. Click submit. And now the assignment has been turned in. Fire scan, format, file name. Yay! In the future, when we have a chance to view reports, resubmit, we'll be teaching you more about that. But right now, as long as this is ready to go, I attempted it once. I can do it 6 times until I get it right. So let me see. Reports. I click on reports. And it's another file that downloads and it tells me, yay, score 10 out of 10. I did it. In the future, this will tell me my 30 steps. You got this one right, you got this one wrong, you got this one right, you got this one wrong, and then I can use this to correct my assignments. But this time it basically told me I did it right. I got my 5 extra credit points. All right, so there you go. That's the first SAM project. And from now on, other than the exams, everything will be done in this context. And how you go to the assignment, click on it, download the assignments, do them, upload, submit, get your reports. Ooh, 50%, I can do better than that. Correct, 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 resubmit. Correct, 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 resubmit until you get all the highest points you want. That's the way we're gonna do this.
Okay, can I have a breakout session with Katie? Because I got stuck.
Actually, I have nothing else to explain per se, if you want to ask me now, or if you want.
But yeah, because when I did it the first time, I saved it to my actual desktop, not inside of VMware. So now I can't, it just gives me the option of uploading. It doesn't give me the option of downloading.
You say the first time, you mean when you said onto my actual desktop, did you mean your personal actual desktop or via VDI?
No, my actual personal desktop.
All right, but you're working inside of VDI.
Yeah, but you know, there's a dual taskbar. but it went down to my other taskbar. Didn't go down to my VMware taskbar.
Okay, let's go check this out because it can't save to your desktop through VDI. That's why, let's go find it. It just can't. Literally, you can't put it in your own desktop if you downloaded it through VDI. So
Yeah.
unless you did it,
Can I go back to step number 1 to download?
Go ahead and share your screen.
Share screen.
Because what question you have is probably a question that everyone else has.
Okay, how do I share the screen? Share screen. That
So
never-
go down to the big green button that says share screen.
I got it.
It's 2 steps. Remember, you guys, then you have to, okay.
So you see where I'm at?
Hold on. Let me see. You are you in VDI? Yes, you are. I just want to make sure that you're in VDI. Yep, here it says VMview.
So I was never able to download the first 2 files.
Where did you download it from? In here.
So you need to move your.
Okay, go to start.
Go to
Yeah.
start.
It doesn't give me the opportunity.
Hit start. Go down.
So go scroll down a little bit with your mouse. There you go. Go
back.
Go to back.
Oh, okay. So I was on the other side. I was on my
You're
personal.
on the upload, yeah.
Okay, so you were downloading through your personal computer originally.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you
You weren't downloading in here.
No.
Oh, you know how it says if any? That's because the first time you go here and you download, it says if available, click continue. That's because if you go through this, it automatically puts you into the next window.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next time you open it up, it shows like, oh, here's where you need to submit it.
Yeah, so it thinks you've already done it. So you have to just click your way back here and now click on instructions and SAM and download them into your virtual mode. Yeah, there and SAM.
That's what I mean. It goes on the taskbar. See right there when it went down?
That's not a
That's
taskbar.
not the taskbar.
Is that my download folder?
That's your downloads ribbon at the bottom of the internet.
That's just Chrome showing you what you downloaded, but
Gotcha.
it's not living there. It's just showing you where downloaded.
Okay,
That's
it's just
all.
a pointer.
If you open it from there, which you can, so go ahead and download that one too. Click on that to download it too.
Okay.
If you open it from there, what's going to happen? It's going to open in Word, and that's fine. You can work in it, but where you're working from is from your downloads folder, which, as I said, is a dangerous place for it to be. So you want to, if you click on that right now, it'll open Word. But that file is living in your downloads folder. So a cleaner way to do
just
it is
open it up and then save as.
Okay. This one's saved as number 2, right?
Yeah, and this one is, right now, you opened it from your downloads folder. Say save as, and now you need to browse and find your way down to your S drive. Scroll down to your S drive.
So they actually were in my downloads folder.
They were, yeah. And now go to Comp 101. You want to go all the way,
Comp
going
101.
in. And then go to Word. And then save it right there.
Change it to 2.
Yeah. The final name has to be 2. And it's okay if your original download stays in the downloads folder and it gets deleted because you don't need it anymore. This is the one you need, okay? And your instructions file to know what to do, you need to go back to your downloads
Remember to
folder.
save. Wait, save. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, now go back to the internet. That in there. Now go to continue.
Yep.
And then I upload the file.
Upload. Mhm.
And then go to documents. No, got to go to S drive.
Yep, a bit lower, perfect. Let's try. Comp 101, Word. And there it is. Upload, check mark, yay. So are you done?
Okay, so yeah, that just went to submit. Boom.
Submit, yeah, you're not done until you submit. Perfect, now you are done.
Okay.
Now you're done.
So I was just on my own PC, not in VMware.
Which, when you have to do Word through VMware, it doesn't work. So you have to, as soon as you need to start working with apps, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you have to do it all inside of VMware because the whole process of downloading has to happen inside of VDI. You
Okay,
can't.
so if I didn't want to use VDI, I just wanted to use my PC. Can I link through you to my S drive through your class?
No, if you're going to use your own, then you use your own documents folder. If you're going to use your own computer, you don't use the S drive. You use your own computer, and
Just
it's not
use
going to
the Google
disappear
Drive?
unless you drop it into the ocean. Your computer is still going to have it. It's just the VDI system has to get cleaned out because it doesn't have space for everyone. So every night when you
It's
clean
more
up,
like a temporary.
it gets cleaned out.
Okay. So if I wanted to use my own PC without using VMware, I should just save everything to Google Drive.
No, you can save it on your own. Just save it onto your own documents folder. Make a folder called comp for all your assignments that you're going to use for the entire session in your own computer.
Okay.
You don't need to put them even in Google Drive. You have them in your computer. So you're fine.
The only reason you'd use Google Drive is if you wanted to travel and use it on another computer.
Gotcha.
That's why we suggest it in VDM, the virtual desktop, because it is technically another computer.
Okay.
Same sense.
But I can do all this without doing VMware. I can just go through regular Canvas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. You're technically going through regular Canvas inside VMware.
Okay.
Or the
without going there. Okay. All right.
Right, guys, unless you have any other questions, I'm gonna keep trying to figure out how come these assignments aren't working for Alton and Schochild and Belém.
Thanks and good night.
Belém,
awesome.
Michelle, any other questions, you guys?
I have a quick question. What if we do our project and then we do the report and it's like 2 out of 10 or whatever? How do we fix it until we submit? Do we just go back?
So it's a great question. Say that you get it says 2 out of 10 instead of the right thing, right?
Hey Vera, can you stop sharing screen for a sec?
Oh, yeah, I can stop her. Stop her sharing. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen again. And I'm back to, I submitted and I get a yay, 10 out of 10. But what if I got a 2 out of 10, right? So what you need to do is you need to go, okay, well, I guess I need to work on this. And so you go back to Sam, right? And in this case, I left Sam, but like if this is another day or something, but in the moment I submit, it tells me to view the report. And that's the report that I was looking at. That's the report here. And it's telling me it's bad. I need to work on it. Okay. So then this report, when it's a higher level assignment, it'll go step by step, 10 points, 20 points, and it'll tell you this is missing, this is not missing, this is good, this is missing. And that's what's going to add up to the 10 out of 10 or 2 out of 10, right? So since it'll tell you what points you missed, you need to go back into your assignment, the one that, you submitted. So you would have to go back to Word, go to the one that you submitted that's wrong, open it up again. And maybe it had to say, hello, dear world. Maybe that's what it had to say. And you have, God, I might even have to type or what. Dear world, life is good. Maybe this is what it was supposed to say. And you left typos, you didn't leave typos, and whatever. So you're done and you submit, right? So you save that file. You go back to the assignment, resubmit, upload again, find it, open, submit, view reports, open it up again. Now I got 10 out of 10. So you keep trying it until you finally, and then you go, well, I had 2 out of 10. This time I got 4 out of 10. I can do better. Let me try again. You can submit 6 times. Okay, let me fix that point. And I don't know how to fix that. Well, let me go ask Diana during class, or let me go check in with Katie, Norma, or Esther. They help you fix it. We help you fix it. You submit again. Now you're up to 6 out of 10. I can do better. So you keep trying until you get to 10 out of 10. There you go. You can submit 6 times. In other assignments, in other classes, you can only submit 3 times. But I'm kind of working on changing that. I'm going to probably allow for as many submissions as necessary until the due date. So it's a whole nother process, doing a lot of like teaching courses and equity based and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, you know, you want to keep making it better, keep making it better, as long as you get it in by the due date. You want to submit it 6 times, submit it 6 times. All I get out of that is you learn more, you learn better. I don't mind, I don't care for you stopping at 3 and getting only an 8 out of 10. If you want to keep working and getting a 10 out of 10, be my guest. The more you do it, the more you'll learn. So that's my new philosophy. So my assignments is, as long as they hit the due date, you can turn in as many times as you want. And keep getting it better. Keep learning. The whole point for me is to learn, not your grade. So the grade is for you. For me, I want you to learn. All right. So I'm going to work now on Alton and Xochitl. Do you see then anything new? And I'm going to ask you to share your screen. I need to see what you're seeing, and that assignment that you keep being told is not available. So can one of you guys share your screen, your Canvas screen? I think Xochitl, we're having the sound issue. Alton, do you have your computer available to share your screen with me?
Yes, I can. Right now.
So first hit the share screen button, and then you have one more step, which is the bottom right. It has a little blue button that says share, and you need to do both. First the green, and then the blue one. If you don't see it, I'll be more specific with my instructions. Have you ever shared your screen?
No.
Okay, good. So then I'll be more specific. Okay, so do you see the bottom bar, the big green button that says share screen? Do you see that one?
Yes.
Okay, click that one. Now, once you click that one in front of you, you basically have a window with a bunch of little windows. And look at the bottom right of that window, far right, and yeah, the moment I see your eyes going that way, I know you're doing well. And there's another little button, blue button that says share. Do you see that one?
Yes.
Click on that one, and then you'll be sharing your screen. Are you on a Mac or on a?
Mac.
Okay. Are you getting something at all saying that you need to change your permissions?
It says allow Zoom to share your screen.
Security. Okay, so you're on a Mac. Okay, so go ahead and say okay, and it's going to take you to your permissions. Go ahead and say okay to that. And tell me when you're in the security permissions file. Are you there?
Nothing's popped up for me.
Where you said allow Mac, that thing, you had to click on yes or okay.
There it is. There it is. I see.
There it is. Okay. Now that screen, notice that it has like a sidebar, and it has an inset where if you scroll, the last word says Zoom. And next to the left of Zoom, there's an empty checkbox. Click on that checkbox.
And it says Zoom will not be able to record the contents of your screen until it is quit.
That's okay. No.
Quit later for that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So once you gave it the okay, many times it asks you to unlock, but your computer must not be passworded, because usually you have to unlock, but you didn't get asked that. So then now try to share again.
Okay.
And go share, and this time it should technically.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So now you can get rid of that box. The security and privacy we're done with. You're inside of SAM activities, meaning that you accessed it going in through SAM.com. So get rid of this window. I don't ever come in through this window.
Okay.
You didn't hear the other things, but I said many, many times, we do not access SAM through any kind of SAM, Cengage.com, or anything like that. The only way we're going to access SAM is through the course. So close anything that says SAM, all the tabs that say SAM, close them all out.
It's not, okay.
Every one of them. Close them up. There's one more, and then you have 2 more. You have the new user.
How
To
do I
the
get
left.
to the
No,
list?
to the left. Keep moving your mouse to the left.
Mute stop video participants thing in the way, and I don't know how to move it.
Oh, okay. So grab from the grayish, blackish part of that. You can grab it and drag it out of the way. Like you can grab that box from its neutral areas, and you can move it out of the way. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now you've closed all windows. Okay, so now you have your orientation syllabus. go to the left to the word syllabus. Yeah, I want to see how the assignment that I set up for you is showing up. And scroll down. And you don't seem to be showing the one with your name. That's just the one that, well, that does say due September 12th though, the one that you're, okay, so click on that one. So that is the one that's set up for you and showed you. And load that one. Okay, the reason I want this because now I can show what's happening because I can take this little bit of video and show it. I'm gonna screenshot this because the assignment was there. My scheduling is correct and I already scheduled inside of SAM too, but for some reason it's not available for you nor for the other two. So I tried over break, I set up a new one in specifically just a new assignment completely for you three. And yet it didn't show up on your screen because I had you refresh and it didn't show up. So that didn't work. And the one that I set up with the right date in Canvas is not linking to one that has the new date in SAM. So I can't fix this. I'm going to have to deal with tech support, the Cengage tech support to see what's happening. And once it's fixed and they tell me it's working, I'll let you know. And then you guys try it again. From now on, keep working forward with your assignments. I'd like to see though, if SAM perchance is not working for us, so can you go back to the tab on the left that says orientation 3 exercise? Go back and try to, go back to syllabus and go to the one that I just did here, the,
go to the 12th in there. It has the second syllabus or quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, it is just showing it that way. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
showing
one
up on mine, though I'm just a student there, so I don't.
It's showing up for you too?
Mm-hmm.
Changed?
It's
I
got,
think it changed it for them 3.
there's 4 people on the list.
4, yeah, there's yeah,
Maybe
there's
because I'm a LTA. Let me try non-student looking.
let me
or
access
looking
it
like-
as my son and see, no, it's not showing for any other students. It's just for you because you're an LPA.
Okay.
So, because I see it, of course, because I set it up. So go ahead and do me a favor, go 2 down to submit SAM Word 2019, get started. I just want to make sure that it's not an issue with SAM not going through, that it's just that one assignment that is not giving you another version. Let's go ahead and see that, okay? And there might be a new way to set up the extra assignments that is different. Yeah, this is working. So it's just that one. Okay, so for both you and Shochut and if Michelle shows up trying to get support, I can't do anything right now. I need to get tech support from Cengage. So they, according, Shochut called like 3 times and they say that on their side, they don't see the date change. And in my SAM, in their side, in my internal SAM, I have created the new assignment with a new date. So I don't know what's missing. So we have to figure it out. Okay. So sorry about that. But other than that, unless there's any other questions, Guadalupe, do you have any other questions? Sometimes people just hang with their second, she had 2 screens, so many times the second screen just stays hung. Okay, well then off you guys go. Be Marion, be happy or whatever, and finish your assignments.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye.
See you guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
So,
Bye, Alton.
Katie, can you hang up for a minute? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put
Oh, jeez.
but show children
So
a little bit
chill.
out and put them out into the waiting room. There we go. So I got stuck on the fact that you're saying that for some people the S drive's not showing, but you haven't heard anyone else having any issues with the S drive, or?
Not with the S drive. I'm seeing stuff with or some students had trouble with their N drive mapping weirdly, but that's that department's version of an S drive, I think.
Okay, I'm checking to see if I got any response from. No, I didn't get any response from Sarah yet. Because if there's going to be any kind of wobbliness or weirdness, I don't want people to suddenly, well, I did the assignment and I just have to suddenly start correcting assignments that weren't turned in,
The only thing was it's
Google Drive file stream for all my other courses, and I don't mind applying it to this, but it is more work if
it was only if that was our tech or save or fix in case they couldn't do any other way. It's not the go-to way at all. I'm just saying that if the computer accidentally
the go-to way, I don't have an S drive for all my non-credit. So the only go-to way is I have shared drive folders, and that's where they keep their files. I give them their files, they return their
but
files.
for
So
this
that
one we were doing
it is
just the S drive, I
very
think.
easy to do, but I don't want to give them two options, S drive or that, because then it becomes complicated. I want one or the other, right? And since I already went through the S drive mode, like plan B would have been to have them download, then put it in the Google Drive file stream and work from there.
There was no actual problem with the S drive, by the way. I'm just saying they had trouble.
No, Belém
the
had
thing,
it last week and she doesn't have it, so there is some problem there.
Well, that's just one. That's not everyone.
Before anyone starts doing their assignments, I thought I'd know. Okay, so then that's it. All right, we'll see. And then this I need to figure out. I don't know why. I have it all set up in SAM. I have it all set up here, and they're not seeing it. And I have a similar assignment. I let someone in late into PowerPoint, and I let these people late into Comp 101. And for the PowerPoint one, and for these, the same thing is happening, that they're clicking on it and it's not coming up, even though I set it up as far as I know correctly. Clearly I didn't, but I don't know what else to do, so I need to figure it out. So if they call you, if you get any people coming into the room, I'm asking that you click and it says that, just let me know, because maybe someone hasn't attempted yet. Maybe there's someone else out there who's having that problem, but they haven't tried to do it yet. So let me know. Okay.
Also, I can't get into the Cengage for this class. The SAM half.
Did you talk to Lori? I never saw. Was there any answer?
She just said it was some permissions that you needed to have for my account, or to give to me in the Canvas, but you did that, so I just email them and say, hey, can you add me as a tutor in there along with.
So Katie, Cengage asked for her to show up as TA, and I'm going to. I've tried to read Brendan. I've written to him on the 1st, on the 7th. Then we had this thing, and then again today saying, please, I need the account for my Comp 101 because I have the free account for PowerPoint, but they have not given me yet one to use here. So I'm still gonna have to go through the training until they don't anymore. And then I can't demo things anymore. So I'm pretty desperate, and he's not answering me. So whenever he does, I'll ask him to set you up to see what's happening, that you're set up through Canvas, but you're not showing up there.
Yeah, the wording that Lori used was anyone we set up in Canvas as a TA should have all the same rights we do in Cengage. So,
well,
and then,
but they have a student account they can get in through. Well, no, but you're not using that. So, yeah,
because with the other accounts.
Okay.
Maybe they didn't add me because I was just labeled as a student before.
But I don't think they have to add you. I think
You added me late, and you
added
just
you
added me as a
candidate.
student, not as a TA originally.
No, I had added you as a tutor, and it turned out I had to be a TA. So now so then I changed it to TA, but that is from Canvas side. It's nothing to do with SAM. So
Yeah.
now I don't know. In the past, I've never had to do anything in SAM for you. I've only added you, and that's it. Now we've had access. So this is different. I can't even access through the normal. If I go to Cengage.com, these courses don't appear. The only way to access them is through the course because they're SAM. They're not Cengage anymore, and so it's this whole new access to them. It's a whole different. Like I was like, come on, how come I can't see my course management? No, the only way is through Canvas. It's like. So in the past, I would go and I'd have all my courses I created over the years, and I could go check, well, in this way, let me imitate that. I liked that from 2 years ago. It didn't work well last year. Now it's like these are little islands. These little SAM courses are bubbles that I can't work from one to the next. I'm trying to go into what's in one and the next, and I can't. So
That's weird.
anyway, all right, it's time for us to go and hit the roost or whatever it is that we're gonna do. I'm gonna go eat.
Yep. Eat that yummy food that they were making while listening to the podcast.
No, worse. For the last half hour, they've been watching a really loud movie in the bedroom, and I've been going the muffled, violent sounds of some super action.
We haven't heard anything so far.
I can hear it muted, and I knew it wasn't enough to hear you guys, but I was like,
Yeah, the other day someone started using a chainsaw next to my house, and I was just like, so I like turned on the mic and I was like, hey, can anybody hear this? Because later if anybody asks me a question, I want to know if I can answer, or do I have to like run to the other side of the house? Find a quieter corner.
all right, so
Okay.
I guess soon enough people will start showing up to the tutoring rooms, but has anyone been showing up from our classes? Not yet, right? I mean,
we had like 1 or 2 students, but not much. Usually we're having students for like earth sciences and math lab right now, just learning VDI and how to use all of that.
Okay.
There's the earth science teacher doesn't tell the Mac students that they can't use, or they told the Mac students that they can't use the program on Macs, but didn't tell them about VDI or any other way to work around it.
No.
So they're just like, I'm trying to download it, but it's nothing's working. And we're just like, wait, you're on a Mac, and that, okay, here's the workaround that we have. So we like emailed the teacher, like,
So many teachers don't know, right?
Yeah.
What they don't know. So
That's what I'm actually kind of making every student do. Like, hey, just so you know, email your teacher this because it could be something they're oblivious to. No matter what, there's always something that you guys are missing because you have like 8 things you're working on at once.
Students don't like to correct their teachers, but it's like, how are we going to know if you don't tell us? Like, I am on top of it because I am doing it. But if I were teaching, history, I wouldn't know any of this, right? So
yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good one.
You as well.